Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have coming up. We have Team Liquid versus Nihilum. This is a match that I don't think people expected to see when they were predicting initial redemption. I think a few people were hesitant to declare Team Liquid as one of the favorites of the tournament, but Nihilum, a lot of people were expecting them to be top 2, Ecom.
Yeah, that is definitely true, and it certainly looked like Nihilum was on the best way to the direct Phase 3 qualification with their starting record of 3-0. They were the best team starting off the league, but of course, after Week 3, pretty much everything changed. Tempostrom and Cloud9 were 1-2 and got almost both of those teams got top 2, and Nihilum was in the lead, and now they're all of a sudden in redemption, and it's definitely going to be a challenge for them against Team Liquid.
I think it's just crazy because if you think about it, these teams are also really close. It's like one game separating everybody. It doesn't feel like 7 series is enough to determine who's clearly the best. Although I think there's a clear worst, unfortunately. If you look at the records, what happened to Team Celestial, Louise?
Wow. Chinese people were expecting them to break the egg yesterday.
Oh,
break
you mean
the zero.
Get a 1. Get a 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what do you think has been the reason why Team Celestial hasn't succeeded as much as they wanted?
Probably because the time zone, I'm right now here at China and it's like 1 a.m. And
that is definitely a factor.
Yeah, and there's some lag when we connect to North America server.
Lag. Okay.
Yeah,
I can agree. I have this lag too in Europe, so it is true. But yeah, the time zone, the lag, but obviously as well, I wouldn't necessarily only blame those things. There was also like poor deck selection, in my opinion, and there were also some misplays involved on Celestial's gameplay. So definitely, you cannot blame it all on luck when a team goes 0-7.
Yeah, I think Chinese people expect them very, very much because it is the most popular team in China. So people expect very much from them. It may put a lot of pressure on them.
What's been the general reception of the Chinese fans of the Archon Team League in general? I think Celestial definitely keeps them, following very closely, but what's like the general consensus and comments coming from the Chinese fan base? Or do they not care at all about the ATLC? I'm just kind of
it's most because of the time zone difference. So there's a lot of people want to watch the video, but it's very hard for them. First of all, to get onto Twitch, and second of all, to solve the time zone difference.
Understandable. Well, hopefully they can tune in as the upcoming days. We want to remind you guys that the finals will be happening on September 11th to 13th over in the Archon Team House, and the top 4 teams will be going there. We have 2 of them determined. It's Cloud9 that was able to qualify after they won their match, as well as Value Town. They were able to grab, I think, the official #1 seed. And that's really cool to be able to see a team of freelance mercenaries be able to gather together. Today we're going to see if these guys can get closer. Now, I think I want to go ahead and analyze what went wrong for Nihilum. In the very beginning of the season, they were very strong, and they were starting off undefeated. It was them, Value Town, and Force and Boys going off very well in the series. What do you think happened? Do you think they got complacent? Did they become too predictable? How will that factor in today, Ecom?
Predictability definitely is a factor too. There have been some patterns, at least that I found in Nihilum's gameplay, and I'm sure if I found them, other people would find them too. Life Coach, obviously one of the most predictable players out there. He's always taking the same decks, and you could theoretically counter them pretty hard, because he's always been bringing Patron and Handlock, but now obviously we're going into the game, and I'm really looking forward to see that. It's going to be a really tough rematch for both those parties. The last match we saw, Team Liquid versus Nihilum in Week 3 actually, was 5-6, And Team Liquid in that match was in the lead in a big way. They were in the lead 5-2, and then Show's Patron Warrior got reverse swept by all of Nihilum's lineup basically. So that was kind of exciting to watch.
Feels like the story of Team Liquid's entire league season. You saw yesterday, Savitz got the same exact treatment, right? I think they were up 5-2, and the Shaman just couldn't grab a single win. And then it was just underlined by the fact that he had to play a mirror match against Osaka in the final game, and then wasn't able to do anything.
Yeah, but that is Shaman. Liquid lost 0-4 with Grim Patron Warrior against Nihilum, so that was really surprising. And we have to see that if Nerea can actually break this curse.
That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I mean, I still think I think it's kind of odd to lead with Shaman. Do you like starting off with Shaman here, Eloise?
I think a lot of people think that Mech Shaman might be the 5th best class to use in this league, but actually, for Gara played a lot of Shaman. He always faced very bad matchup with Mech Mage in this league, so he always complain about it, and he always think that, well, next time I'm going to use Control Shaman. Next time I'm going to use Control Shaman.
Yeah, and it's always the next time, never this time, huh?
Yeah. And too much face deck will cause very big trouble. It's very easy to counter.
Yeah, I mean, many people pick Shaman to be like the 5th best or the 6th best class or the 6th best deck to bring to this format. I, on the other hand, though, think that Mech Shaman sucks. I don't like the deck at all, and I think there are way better alternatives.
Yeah. But
the results that Mech Shaman provided in the Archon Team League, I think, prove my point. Especially yesterday.
And especially in this kind of team league, if you use some kind of class that your teammate isn't very comfortable with, then it will cause very big trouble. So you will prefer to use what everyone wants you to use. And that will make that everyone's using Mech Shaman instead of Control Shaman.
Yeah. Nerea seems to try to value the board, not let Shaman get too much damage on him early. So he played a very quick Frothing Berserker. And now he has the option to try and extend that Frothing Berserker's life, trade into the Cogmaster, draw some more cards. And that's really the key here. He needs to draw cards because most of the time he's dumping a lot to try to avoid taking too much damage. So I like playing the No Mission better here. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. The Patron Warrior cannot draw as much as he wants and keep the cards in his hand to build up a combo. The Shaman is just way too aggressive, so Frothings often will just die, so they will not be able to be used for a big burst. However, eventually the Warsong Commander with Grim Patron combination might be the deciding factor for the turnaround.
Going for face. I like it. Not trying to overtrade. I mean, Mech Shaman's one of those decks for me. Maybe it's just my personal experience, but whenever I lose, I always come up a few damage points short, and it's always because I decided to just trade 1 or 2 times more than I should have. And I know that's true of a lot of aggro decks, but Mech Shaman seems especially true a lot of the times, more than other face decks. Sometimes with other face decks I have 3 or 4 extra damage. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Even with the weapons, where you would think you could easily use them to just trade, often enough you just have to go face with them as well. Even with stuff like Power Mace, it's just impossible to pass up on any face damage because the deck is just the most bursty deck there is, and just minion-wise, it just runs out of steam way too fast.
Yeah, and it is different from Hunter. Hunter can come back from the board by Unleash combo, and Mech Shaman cannot come back from the board. So it's very a hard choice to choose between clear the board or go face.
Yeah, exactly. People do not run cards like efficient board clears like Lightning Storm, for example. because they don't go face.
This is a cool play. For those who aren't really familiar with it, you get a second attack with the Wind Fury even if you've attacked one time. So RDU capitalizing on that while getting the Death Rattle onto the Chillwind Yeti. Oh, sorry, the Mechanical Yeti.
I think he used the Power Mist first to play around Harrison on turn 5.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think patrons generally have started running Harrison more commonly. Before it was not as common. It'd be like one of those secret things that it was dependent on styles, but now it's starting to get more common for sure. So I think that's a really good call. It's still looking like there's a lot of damage coming in here. Those 10 from the Doomhammer plus Rockbiter. That's 9 from the Lightning Bolt and the Yeti.
Yeah, so now the choice is if he want to...
oh wait, no, sorry. I thought it said 10 on my screen for health. It says something else. It's a little blurry for me, actually. How much health?
It's 23.
15? Okay.
15 plus 8.
Do you kill the armor
Not quite there yet. Yeah, definitely need to get rid of the armor smith. That is the most painful to deal with card. You don't really want to use up too much damage for a minion. Generally, that only deals one. That only has one attack. But yeah, armor smith just can provide so much health, and that's obviously never a good thing to see when you're an aggressive deck.
Alright, well, Shield Block is a great draw, but it still doesn't keep him out of the woods yet. He doesn't have a way to deal with these big minions without giving up a lot more health. Oh, he has to use his own face. That sucks.
I think he really wants to draw or execute.
Oh, sure, yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh, sure. My bad, guys. I'm pulling up the stream. All right, cool. So looks like RDU is he picks up a second Doomhammer here, but doesn't really need it. He's got enough damage to end the game. Very quick game number 1. Patron Warrior. This is how you kill it. People always wonder, okay. There's like every single 3 days there's a new thread on the forums complaining about Patron Warrior burst combo, but this is the way you actually try to kill it. You have to pressure them non-stop. Don't give them time to set up and draw. From the very get-go, you're able to see Mech Shaman curve decently well, getting the Cog Masters into the mechs. And from that point on, the Patron Warrior couldn't do everything, right? Normally, Patron draws, so that way he can remove and keep a high health count, but it was not able to do so.
Yeah,
exactly.
Patron Warrior is very good at removing the minions, but the Shaman draw all the weapons at the starting hand. The weapons and the direct damage.
Yeah. I mean, I like the second Doomhammer just because you want to draw one of them really desperately. And it's just 16 damage to stop the Doomhammer, and it's really hard to do so. But I like that opening because Patron seems to be a very popular start for people nowadays. It feels like it's the most versatile because you have the most matchups that it can win against. So if you expect your opponent to be playing Patron, then queue up the Mech Shaman and try to snipe it immediately. So a great strategy from Nihilum, and they're on the board. All right, so we'll have game number 2. What do you think here, Yukat? What are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, we will have to see what Liquid brings. They obviously wanted to bring the Patron first. At least from my perspective, it seems that they wanted to avoid the disaster that happened last time they faced Nihilum, where they had Patron last and just got reverse swept. So, but that didn't work out too well right now. I mean, in my opinion, it doesn't at this early stage. It doesn't really matter what kind of deck you go with. It's mostly okay to just go with the random choice. Sure, you could try to avoid the benched rule, so just give Nerea a pause, but that, of course, if your opponent predicts that, that might be taken advantage of. But at this stage, it doesn't really matter because Liquid still has all the decks available, so even if they attempt to counter either Show or Saviz, it's going to be hard to do that.
Yeah, series just began, so pretty much anything can happen.
Exactly. Just take a random deck and hope for the best.
I think Patron is the overall best class for Liquid. If they want to change another class, might be Hunter.
Wait, I just realized something. I didn't pay attention to it before, but Life Coach is not playing Handlock today.
Oh yeah, he's playing Hunter, and Warlock was
Tice
Tice.
is playing Warlock. So you might think they made the zoo.
Interesting. Well, we'll see. I mean, for now, it's the Druid versus the Paladin, so we'll evaluate that as time goes on. Artie's trying to get out. Maybe he has to go to school tomorrow, and he has to. No, wait, it's still mid-August, late August, maybe. Yeah.
Pretty sure, I mean, Artie, you finished school. So yeah, he's actually taking like a gap year and
cool.
Focus on esports.
Digital athletics, I like it. Following the dream. Druid versus Paladin. This could be really good for the Druid if the aggro Paladin doesn't really get off to a good start. Druid's really effective at picking off 1 health minions, especially with swipe, and getting tempo on the board is really big. But I think maybe it's time for Artie to surprise people too. Nope, it's aggro Paladin. I was just wondering because I feel like your team is like the only team that really uses mid-range Paladin and uses it effectively.
Yeah, we used aggro Paladin once, but I believe that aggro Paladin is the stronger pick between mid-range Paladin and aggro Paladin. However, Stripecrow firmly believes in the power of mid-range Paladin, and he's proven why it is good in a sense, at least. So definitely mid-range Paladin is also a top contender.
Hey, I thought that Town is the team that is famous for playing mid-range Paladin.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Eloise is referring to Trump losing, what was it, 4 games in a row with mid-range Paladin?
Oh, wow.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You say that yourself.
That's what she was referring to. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. But
Eloise, why are you so mean?
Between the lines. Yeah. Tip of the iceberg, ECOP. If only you knew.
Oh gosh.
Innervate,
okay.
Pretty big draw here for Savitz, because it looks like he was just gonna either Wrath or Hero Power, but Sludge Belcher helped him get back on the board. He can use a combination of Wrath and his Hero Power effectively next turn, and his opponent can't deal with it easily.
Bad. His hand is still very bad. I'm not sure Savitz run with Ancient of War. Ancient War might definitely be help, because most of the aggro Paladin now doesn't run with equality.
No, it's fine. He's gonna draw.
I feel like there was actually the option to just Wrath instead of innervating out the Belcher, so you can innervate out the Taurus, but that play might prove to be too greedy, and Savitz chose to go for the immediate counter pressure to handle the board.
Because his starting hand is already too slow.
Yeah,
sometimes maybe with this kind of clunky hand, you might need to take the risk for the Saurussen just to hopefully get advantage out of the trigger from the Saurussen and then take the game from there. But yeah, against the Paladin, it might be a little bit too slow of an attempt. However, now with Savitz's hand against a board like this, he's pretty much fish in a barrel for RDU.
He need the most important card. Swipe.
Yeah, swipe definitely pretty much the decisive factor in this matchup. If the Druid has a swipe, usually the Paladin just loses so much tempo and aggression, and it's just completely backbreaking for the Paladin. The Paladin needs at least 2 turns to set up a board similar to the one that he lost to the swipe. But yeah, Savitz doesn't have it, so RDU in a really good position here.
Yeah, next turn Savitz can play Thorison, which is not bad, but I'm not sure if he can still be alive next turn.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Picking up the Divine Favor too, and I mean, Druid can dump the hand, but not when you have almost all of its expensive cards. If you think about it, outside of the fact that he might be playing Ancient of Wars, Savitz drew the most expensive cards in his deck first. And he's also gotten situational cards like this Savage Roar, which, I mean, that's one of the biggest criticisms against it. Force of Nature here will help keep him alive just barely.
Yeah, barely is the word. Or is it actually even...
Let's see, his opponent has Blessing of Kings and True Silver are only plus 4. Yeah, so just a few points short.
And this week, Life Coach is not bringing Handlock this week, so it also affects the performance of Druid this week.
Right, Tice could be playing too.
Yeah, he bring Hunter instead of Handlock.
I mean, Druid can still beat the Hunter, but it'd be one of those moments where you realize, oh, it's Life Coach, and he probably doesn't play Face Hunter. So he's probably playing mid-range Hunter, in which case the Druid will struggle even more. It's a cool mix-up too, because this is, you know, win or go home, because this is only a single elimination bracket of 2 teams. So this is a moment where Savitz really wants to turn the momentum around. Picking up Druid the Claw will certainly help here, but then this is the moment where you know your opponent draws the owl off the top of it.
Yeah, currently Ardu with this kind of play is 1 damage off lethal.
Oh, owl off the top.
Never mind.
It always happens without fail. This is just what aggro paladin is. So, you know, Savitz not even blinking twice, realizing, yep, that's exactly it. And that's going to wrap up game 2. More importantly, Ardu is done for the day. So it's Life Coach and Tice that remain. And a very quick 2-0 start. 2 aggro decks from Ardu and 2 games won. So what do you think about that, Eloise? Pretty expected, or is that a good strategy from Nihilum, or Team Liquid may have just gotten too lazy or predictable? What do you think?
I think it's a little bit lucky for face decks, of course. But what he was facing was Druid, so well, it's not very surprised for that.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. Druid has been performing pretty bad for pretty much everyone in the Archon Team League. It's by far the worst performing class out of all the classes, and I'm still surprised why Liquid is even bringing Druid.
I think it might be because the Handlock.
Yeah, but this is also the reason why we even brought Druid against Nihilum, which was actually the only week we played Druid. And
yeah, actually, we did that too. But Life Coach wasn't playing that week.
Yeah, it did work out for us, and therefore, I mean, that was just last week's. This week. So Nihilum obviously picking up on the fact that they might be a little bit too predictable in that regard, and therefore they adapted, and therefore Team Liquid's Druid will have a harder time than it usually would have against Nihilum's regular lineup.
Yeah, it's true. I do wonder how much morale has to do with it. I was talking to Savitz a week and a half ago, and he just felt like Team Liquid doesn't have a chance to make the playoffs. Even before it was all over, I think there was still a match or 2 to be played, and he still had the redemption. But he just told me he wasn't confident, and that felt weird because, you know, Savitz is one of those guys where if he feels confident and he's doing well, he feels like he can bring it around. But I guess he's speaking on behalf of Liquid there. So perhaps the morale is low on that team, and you know, maybe these guys are just feeling like they're phoning in. But at the same time, it's never truly over till it's over. There was opportunities for comebacks all throughout the season. Doesn't matter if you're 2-0. Doesn't matter if you're 5-0. There was almost a comeback, even going back to week 1. Eloise, Tempo Storm was down 5-0, and you guys almost rallied against Osaka's Druid.
Trust Savitz. Druid is the most powerful class. Savitz will get 5-0.
Yeah, I'll believe it when it actually happens.
Oh, we'll see. I think that it'll be the first time this entire season and history of the league to see someone come back from 5-0 to 6-5. We'll cross that bridge if we get there. Show's going to go with Hunter for game number 3. Tice going to bring out the Warlock. Now, Tice is an excellent handlock player himself, but if Life Coach isn't playing the handlock, I don't really see a reason why Tice wouldn't play handlock either, but I guess it would be a good opportunity to play Zoo to mix it up. there's so much mind games, man.
Oh, this is actually the hand lock, and does show what does show think here? I mean, obviously, you would have to assume that they're gonna bring Zoo because life coach is not on hand lock.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly
obviously he has to throw away all his hand.
Mm-hmm. But you know that Tice is also a great handlock player, so there's reasonable doubt on both sides. Job's done. And then of course you factor in the idea that there are more than 2 warlock types now. There's the Malyghost warlock. There's demon lock that's also kind of mid-range approach. So there's multiple things that you have to be afraid of, and that's why I'm a big fan of making sure that whenever you bring the warlock in the team league, you should put it out when you feel like you have the best chance to win the first time, because the effectiveness goes down the more you see the deck.
Ty's starting hand is not very good, like Mountain Giant at starting hand, and he haven't got early game clear spells.
But take a look at Shows, and it's also not really the fastest one, that's for sure.
Hey, at least he has something to play at turn 3.
Yeah, well, I can go and get him to the wild growth.
From turn 2 onwards, Hunter always has something to play.
Whoa!
What? Interesting. Show wants to kill the patrons. That's right. TGT leaked. I saw this in the brawl. Actually, Snipe is so annoying in Tavern Brawl this week, guys, because like everything outside of Maid in the Lake has like 4 or less health in the first 4 turns of the game. So
yeah, and there's 3 traps in the brawl.
Yeah, you just played as Argent Horseman and kill and get.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Divine Shield absorbs it. I feel like I never draw it early game though. I've played like 15 games of it. I always drew it like late game, or never drew it.
If Tice think that this is a freezing trap, he might use the Sun Fury.
And then the Sun Fury gets sniped. That's interesting. A pass. All right. Well, I'm very curious to see how this works out, because
the pass signifies that Tice is planning on playing the Mountain Giant and probably coining out the Sun Fury Protector as well. Or now he has the option of Mortal Coiling the Lapernome as well.
Yeah, I like this. I think he will definitely Mortal Coil.
Especially after he sees the snipe, he doesn't want to give taunt to a 4 health minion. Especially because the Sun Fury is only taunt giver at the moment.
Sounds reasonable. And now that Snipe's been revealed, it'll be way less effective if this Hunter ends up dropping the game, but still far off. Oh, Tice caught by surprise. Now, is there a second Snipe in the deck? That's what I want to know. Is there more? Is there more of the shenanigans?
What do you think is the reason why he brings Snipe? Maybe it's good against Patron?
Yeah, that's the kill the War Song Commander every single time. Or the Patron on turn 5. That's what I want. It's not really that effective too much against a lot of other decks. The reason why it's really good against Patron is because you can predict when those minions come out, versus like aggro, for example. Even though you do kill a minion, they can play a lot of cheaper minions that don't have much value lost by having it sniped. Or even worse, right? If you snipe against like a Nerubian egg, that's like the worst possible thing that can ever happen.
Yeah.
How do you think about this? Playing Lothep and waste and use the coin.
I don't really mind it as much.
Yeah, Tice doesn't have that many expensive cards in his hand, except for Jaraxxus, obviously. And therefore he can allow himself to just drop the coin here. He would just want to cycle through with the Mortal Coil, get more options.
Yeah. I definitely like playing Lothep because it challenges the high main directly. You have 2 owls in hand, so you're prepared for it next turn. He even has opportunity to be able to follow up play with being able to tap or Defender of Argus, depends on how he feels of things. So I like to be able to play a Lothep there over like Healbot and be really defensive, especially because he has Molten Giant in hand. So in a weird scenario, it's like you still want to take damage from Hunter, even though traditionally you don't. So you can get this Molten out, but you want to be able to not take too much. So this is a really good opportunity for Tice to flip the board. Man, I do not want to dark bomb that thing. But is the situation call for it?
I would actually consider playing that Sunfury Protector even, because maybe you just want to have some board presence.
Because he's got
and you do have
Argus in
the
his
second
hand.
taunt giver. Yeah, you do have the second taunt giver with the Argus.
It feels like this would be the turn, though, because it's turn 7, that you want to be able to, like, assuming he hit you all for phase, because he only had chargers, you had Molten, Antique Healbot, and Sunfury, though. So I would be reluctant to, but also that's because, you know, I'm very greedy.
But look at this, like if he had played the Sunfury and Show wouldn't have attacked it with a bow, there would be the possibility of a second Owl on the high main and then kill it with the Dark Bomb and the Sunfury Protector.
True, I agree.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Although you can't guarantee he won't strike the Sunfury Protector with the Eagle Horn bow.
Sure, but then at least you get rid of the bow, so that's also damage taken away.
Yeah, it's all fair criticism. Gets Defender out of the way. I like this too. Challenging the high main, forcing him to show something like Kill Command or Hunter's Mark now, so his Molten Giant can be more effective.
Yeah, I think he might really want to drop some health.
He's got
really
how
want
much
to
damage?
Play the Molten with Sunfury.
So there's 9 damage in hand. Hero power is 11, plus weapon is 14. Leper Gnome is 16. He's 1 damage off lethal. Right?
The
There's
juggler
no other
hits
way to get.
the juggler hits the Ancient Watcher.
Oh wait, there is possibility of lethal, right? So if he knife jugglers and then suicides high main into the 5/6 and then juggles twice to the face, and then Arcane Golem juggles to the face.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Dream is dead. Dream is really dead. Oh wait. All right. Well, because he juggled onto the Argus too many times, there was a chance, but in the end, not able to do it.
Did he get everything through that he wanted? Oh, the Arcane Golem. Oh, it did attack.
Oh, it did. Fake this out there. Well, Molten comes down for sure. Healbot comes down for sure. Guess you just Healbot and taunt up. Not really complicated play here. Jiraxis wouldn't actually accomplish.
Just Healbot and Shadow Flame. This looks way better.
Oh, Shadow Flame, you're right. Ignored that card for a while.
Yeah, this is perfect clear, and 10 health is reasonable. Wow. That was a perfect turnaround for Thais. However,
Well, I mean, do all the direct damage you want, but Jiraxis brings you back up to 15.
Yeah, if that was a Huffer, it would have been game over.
He already got one Huffer too, which was the crazy thing. If you got back-to-back Huffers, this Jiraxis, huge for the heal, and also really fun because you get to emote him your greetings over and over.
Yeah, you can pretty much expect this Jiraxis to lock the game down, and Show does not like the look of this. I don't know
not at all.
What kind of combination of draws would win Show the game here?
Well, he has to get another Beast, and then maybe some quick shot action.
Yeah, he already used 2 Hymens.
He used 2 Hymens. He used his Charger as well, Wolf Rider and Arcane Golem. Is there any charger that he can attach this Abusive Sergeant to? Because he's on a 2-turn clock. He's going to die, not this turn, but the following turn. At least based off what he sees.
Shields up.
Okay, well,
Doesn't really matter.
Taunts now, it's like it feels like there's really no way.
There's absolutely nothing that Show could draw.
Yeah, not unless he's, playing the weird Deathwing Hunter that people saw a few months ago. Don't laugh, it's a real thing.
I'm not laughing.
Definitely an unexpected win in this time around. Usually you would expect a Hunter to win against the Handlock every time. But yeah, it seems like it wasn't just enough. 2 damage off lethal for show.
He was 1 damage off lethal, I think.
Yeah.
It was really close, and if the juggles went to the face, then he would have had an opportunity to kill his opponent. It's just that the defender of Argus was a real boss there, absorbing it. So there was a moment, there's a chance for show, but unable to take it. That's 3-0 for Nihilum, and Tice got a win with the hand lock before Druid was able to hit it. So nothing is going according to plan for Liquid right now. Absolutely nothing.
I guess the Druid can still win neither the Mirror or the Patron matchup. It's not like the Druid is very unfavored here for Team Liquid. However, just getting 6 wins, whereas Nihilum only needs 3 wins, it just seems like the odds are stacked against Team Liquid right now.
Yeah, put your face in the wild growth.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but I think that should be in the next expansion.
The problem is that Nihilum's, whatever Nihilum has still remaining, cannot really get countered by any succession of pick orders that by any succession of picks that Team Liquid can do here. So yeah, it's looking rather tough. I mean, Nihilum's decks pretty much can win against anything that Team Liquid has here.
I guess it depends too on what kind of decks that actually are being used by Liquid, because I foresee a way for Druid to be unfavored against all their decks, depending on, I mean, at best 50-50. So like, you know, if it's Zoo, if it's Hybrid Hunter can give Druid problems. Mech Shaman can be problematic for Druid. If it's Patron Warrior, it's still reasonable. So there's a chance, that the Druid from Nihilum can flop as well.
We will now see Tice's Druid versus Neria's Rogue. Tice, of course, a very proficient Druid player, has probably the best win rate out of all Archon Team League participants on the Druid. So we'll see how this goes for Tice here.
Tice is very good at playing Shredder on turn 1. Wow. See what I told you?
No, I feel like you saw the Innervate Shredder and then made that statement.
No.
The timing of it was a little too
He played
suspect.
Shredder on turn 1 last week versus me.
Does he have to? I mean, he has Innervate and then Shade and then that kind of stuff. Like, he opens up different plays. And against Rogue too, it's like you can Innervate Coin, and then they happen to have Sap. It feels pretty awkward after that. Instead, you can go for a 5-drop and then 3/4.
Yeah, I imagine this is Tice's game plan here. Oh, actually, he's innovating out a 5-drop immediately. It looks like he's digging for more cards with Harrison. And I guess I can certainly get behind it. I think.
I like it because Rogue just lost tempo, and you got board control and card advantage. It's kind of why Harrison's a really insane card if you think about it.
He has to use 2 mana to make the dagger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, often you will just see Innervate Ancient of Lore, and you consider that a good play. Harrison basically provides the same thing against Rogue, except it's 2 turns earlier. So that's pretty good play against Rogue in general, I would say.
Yeah, because then the removal's not clean. He needed 4 mana to make it clean, so he can play the Goblin Auto Barber and Backstab.
And Harrison is also a 5-attack minion. At least Rogue cannot kill it on turn 3. So it will deal at least about 15 damage.
Yeah, but this is cute. I like it. The Blade Flurry to kill it off. That's not exactly the use that you always see for the Goblin Auto Barber, but it ends up being the case here. Now, I do think that if we see the Auto Barber, I have a hunch that it's going to be the Assassin's Blade Rogue that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Kind of phase in and out. What's your opinion on that kind of Rogue, Eloise? Do you like it or not?
I think it more depends on when he draws a sprint.
I think Sixo has been one of the players who has been playing this particular rogue list. I think almost throughout all the Archon League duration, and he's been performing fairly well with it. Definitely an above 50% win rate, I think. Yeah. So pretty good rogue list in general, I would say.
Yeah, I like it because it's cool. I love the burst that it can provide, especially against decks like Freeze Mage. I think Sixo played against Eloise with this list and had an insane dagger that was just, like, crazy big. He lost, but it was like if he was able to get the blade, the Assassin's Blade buffed up even more, because he only used a regular dagger. It would have been crazy.
But he drew all those weapon damage against Freeze Mage, which was very good draw.
Right, and then you rightfully outskilled him by freezing the board nonstop.
Of course, I'm good and smart.
And handsome. That's the Eloise saying. I think you have to. Oh, go ahead, Ecop.
Oh,
and humble.
And humble. Right.
Thank you, Ecop. So he see one Blade Flurry, so he tried to play greedy.
Why not? This is the sprint turn, but doesn't have it. And even if he did, he has to still address the board here. It's funny because both of these are like the two classes that like encapsulate that you want to never let them have a board, because Druid can always use their burst combos, Rogue can always use the oil. And so it's always interesting watching these two classes go at it, because there's a weird dynamic where neither of them want the board to get too big, but they also want to hit face so they can leverage the combo to threaten to kill their opponents.
You could even say it's kind of a mirror match.
Yeah,
both decks rely on a huge chunk of burst with specific combination of cards in the late game.
So Taz is very awkward now. He cannot clear the board, and if he play War, he will be afraid of Sap.
No, he can clear the board. What he does is he puts the Shredder into the 5/5, and then Wrath the Bio Teacher for 1 and draw Swipe.
Oh, sounds good.
That's what the pro Druid players do.
And what the pro Rogue players do here is top deck Sap.
Oh gosh. Well, Drake into Sap wouldn't be bad either, because it's actually better, because you get the minion.
Oh, this is rough. Prep sprint, 1 mana off.
Yeah, it has to give it the blade. Oh, and to give up everything else too.
I think Ty's Street is running with 2 combo. If he was using the list, if he was using the list he was using last week and the week before last week.
Well,
sounds a little bit scary.
He can Wrath for 1 first, see what goes on. Then trade and play Thorson, which is really intimidating, considering it's a big body. It reduces a lot of minions on board. I don't know if there's room for him to be super aggressive. Some people always like, whenever they get Druid Claw and they're in a position to leverage its charge, they can. But I like Thorson because it guarantees that you'll have a stronger play.
Whoa! What is this card?
New card. Destroy a random minion. Combo, destroy opponent's weapon. This card was seen a little bit after Goblins vs. Gnomes came out in the first place, because of Handlock being super duper ultra popular and Control Warrior. So I feel like a few rogues were experimenting with Sabotage, because that was like a way to answer a turn 4 play. They'd play Mountain Giant, they'd play Twilight Drake, you play Sabotage. But I don't think anyone's run it since then.
And at that time, a lot of rogue was running with like Ragnarok or Dr. Doom, that kind of late game rogue.
Oh yeah,
and they run with Sabotage.
Yeah, it was a control rogue, and I remember Hype was telling me like, no man, you gotta try trade Prince Gallywix, and I was like, no, Hype, I'm not gonna do that.
One of my friends used that kind of rogue to go to top 10 on Chinese server. It was not bad.
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like maybe that's not the reason it won, but maybe it just happened to be there, and it was like a 6 drop that had a lot of health. So.
Do you think Tice will use the Ancient of Lore to heal?
It's certainly a possibility. He doesn't really need more cards.
He can guarantee win next turn, right?
Yeah, South Sea Deckhand plus the oil combination is what, 13 damage? And then if you have like one more piece of damage, like either deadly poison or eviscerate, that's 17. So you would die in the worst case scenario. And so he opts to be safe. That was a really good read there, Eloise. And of course, a good read by Tice. You needed to be able to recognize what to do. All right, emergency. Play the anti-kill bot. You might be dead, so you have to be careful. I want to say a second Savage Roar is lethal, but I can't be too sure.
It's time to check his skill.
Check his skill. He doesn't. He would need exactly Force of Nature, right, to end the game here.
And there it is.
Boom.
Exactly.
That is why Tice is a really good Druid player. But to be serious for a second, I think this was very well played, and solid play overall has led Nihilum to be at 4-0 advantage. The 6-0 dream. Do you think we're gonna see it, guys? The 6-0.
I think we can. I think it's actually a realistic possibility. As I said before, Nihilum's decks cannot really get countered right now. I don't think there's a way.
I mean, hypothetically, if it goes 5-0, there should be at least one deck that's like good, and you're countering their deck.
Yeah, but it's not like a hard counter. All the decks that can be hard countered, in my opinion, have been eliminated already. I mean, have their checkmark already. So, yeah, Nihilum definitely in a realistic position to get that 6-0 dream. And how heartbreaking would it be for Team Liquid?
Well, I think there's two sides of it. The first is how heartbreaking would it be for Team Liquid to lose 6-0? The second is, what would it be like to have Life Coach lose 6 in a row? Like, usually if you're down 4-0, maybe it's one deck from each player, but there's only one player remaining. And your Life Coach basically can sit down for the next hour and just focus on winning 2 out of 7 games? Is it?
Yeah.
He has to win 2 out of 7 games. That's a very low requirement to get past round 1.5 here.
And we now can have a chance to see how a Hunter can burn the rope.
Would that be the first time it ever happened to rope while playing Hunter? I don't think so. Life Coach actually played a lot of Hunter.
Playing Hunter is not that easy as you might think.
Yeah, Hunter is the hardest class, even harder than Druid.
Wow, I sense some salt here, Eloise. I think maybe you've been Savage Roared or hunted down a few too many times, perhaps. I think we do something called therapy here in America. I can definitely recommend you to a good one. I can recommend you Raynance. It'd be really useful. Yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea of just queuing up something that you feel like is good against both Warrior and Hunter here, and just feeling you maximize your chances. But that might come down to either playing your own Hunter or the Warrior from Nyria. And what's also funny is that I think it doesn't even really matter if you're benched at this point, because you're down so many games, and you have to win it anyways, and score differential doesn't even really truly matter here, because it's the last opportunity for you to go through the next round.
And there's no class from Liquid can actually have a hard counter around Patron and Hunter. Maybe it shows Hunter with Snipe.
Oh yeah, maybe shows Hunter. But the thing is, if Life Coach is playing a regular hunter. Isn't the regular hunter favored over like a hunter that runs snipe?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, snipe does absolutely nothing.
It's like, I sniped your haunted creeper, or I sniped your web spinner. It's like, well, you just basically helped him get something, cycled it for him.
It does look like Life Coach is running the mid-range hunter, judging by this web spinner.
There's no way. This is the way Life Coach has said it before, and I thought it was pretty smart of him based off his own preference and playstyle. He said, if you play face decks all the time, you have a higher win percentage against bad players, but you have, at best, like 50% win rate against high-level players. But he says if you play control decks, you have a very high percentage win rate against bad players or worse players. He said bad. And you have a 60% win rate against players who are even skill or high level too. So he just hates playing face decks personally. He just doesn't play aggro. He always plays the more control-y option. That's the Life Coach style because he feels like it gives him a higher win percentage overall.
Well, I think this is a very good strategy. Like he swapped class with Ties and makes everyone think that Ties is playing Zoo.
Yeah, when in reality, nothing really changed outside of the fact that mid-range hunter was brought. Because normally RDU brings the hybrid or the aggressive hunter.
Yeah, Nihilum actually in the last week they played against us. They didn't bring hunter at all, and this is maybe something that they ended up regretting. And this time they're not making the same mistake. Hunter definitely one of the strongest classes, even the strongest class, I think, performance-wise in the ATLC.
Yeah, that was a really confusing point. When we saw your match earlier this week, like, why would Nihilum not bring Hunter? And, well, maybe it is the reason they lost, maybe it isn't. But either way, you definitely want to at least have it in your lineup to keep decks accountable, that's for sure. Now, at the same time, for a while, Rogue was even considered good against the mid-range Hunter because you can gain tempo, Hunter can't pile up damage that quickly, and you do give time for the early game setup from Rogue because you're not pressuring them to use the weapon to trade as much as, the Wolf Rider list that make them do 6 damage to themselves instead of 3.
Yeah, the reason why Rogue is considered to be so good against mid-range Hunter compared to against Face Hunter is the fact that mid-range Hunter does have those clunky minions, which sometimes just don't do anything when they interplay, like Savannah Hyman is the best example. If you just zap a Hyman, that is just a huge tempo swing, and of course the mid-range Hunter doesn't apply as much pressure, so Rogue has more time to draw the necessary combo pieces. Like those one or two more turns that Rogue gets might be enough already to just get the cards necessary to have lethal.
Yeah, Fan of Knives, the most important card told to me by Super JJ. He says there's 2 cards that you always want against Hunter. So if you're a Rogue player and you're kind of struggling in the mid ranks, he says you always keep Prep and Fan. Those are like the 2 biggest things against Hunter. Not even just the fact that you can just clear the minions, but being able to draw cards and keep the momentum in cycle is really big too. So Nyria being able to use that liberally is very effective and keeps the board clear. It feels like he's in a pretty decent spot, but he is expending a lot of resources, so hopefully the Thanos can draw something effective here. Okay. I like this Tundra Rhino here. It's pretty funny, if you think about it. Oh, Shredder's also a pretty good drop, too.
Yeah, 5 health minion is a little bit hard to deal with. Especially how he already used an Inviscerate.
Yeah, especially because oftentimes in the new Tavern Ball, all I can do to this thing is Flame Lance it. And then and then your opponent just drops something even bigger. So he doesn't.
Yeah,
really...
it looks like Nerea is kind of forced to play the Sabotage here. All the other plays are kind of awkward. You don't really want to drop a low tab on this board because Tundra Rhino's effect allows high main to attack with charge, and that's definitely not what you want to do.
Maybe he can. Yeah, he has to Sabotage.
Yeah, I think everything else just makes him too far behind. Like keeping this eviscerate is really good to keep the tempo, and against mid-range hunter, you really need to get that tempo going. You have cards like sap, and if you have sap and eviscerate, and you have a minion on board, then that'll be your primary win condition to get additional damage to end the game. And Life Coach, this is normally where both decks can crumble if they don't have anything to play, but even though the Houndmaster feels pretty awkward and stranded, he still has another Shredder, which has been pretty huge for him.
The problem for Nerea is he has all those tempo cards, but of course those tempo cards don't matter at all if you don't have the minions on the board to back them up to apply some pressure. Because this is like how do you even win this rogue when the hunter is still at 30 health? Eventually the hunter is just going to win because he hero powered a couple of times.
Only a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean that's basically how it feels like.
I think Nerea might want an oil or something, a burst, because this turn he can definitely play anything and quiet sap. Like he can even play low sap, quiet sap, or because low sap can always stay on the board, and next time if you draw oil, he can burst a lot of damage.
Yeah, but the Violet Teacher was a good draw too.
Yeah,
definitely. This gave Nerea the pressure on the board that he needed desperately.
That's so awkward. Oh, that's really funny because if it was attack with it was like a one attack minion, he could have Hunter's Mark tempo played right back, and then like play Web Spinner Houndmaster and had a relatively okay board. Although that'd be still weak to Blade Flurry, so I guess it wouldn't be as smooth as sailings. But it's funny that the Light Whale dropped out too, because Hunter's the class that benefits, I think, the least from the Light Whale compared to other classes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say that Nyria draws Blade Flurry next turn. Is that just game over if Life Coach can't... Like, is that even just game over, period? Because any bomb that Life Coach draws from that point on just gets sapped?
Well, he doesn't even need the Blade Flurry. He can just...
What do you think about he didn't kill the Violet Teacher? You want to save the quick shot for draw a card. That 1/1 is the most annoying thing against freezing trap.
Yeah. Well, it ends up being the right call to use the Hunter's Mark now because Lotheb ends up getting dropped and forcing the Teacher into an awkward trade.
That SI7 definitely was a good draw here. It allows Nerea to kill off the Houndmaster with the combo and the 1/1, so the Violet Teacher doesn't have to get suicided.
No, Scientist doesn't really help here. Well, speaking of things that don't help, Angry Chicken pops into the hand. Probably the worst thing outside of Captain's Parrot, and even then, Captain's Parrot's a beast.
And he didn't, because he didn't kill the Violet Teacher, he never have the chance to play Freezing Trap now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Although, one thing to also consider too is Naria is at 12. Oh, no, he's got the anti-kill bot, never mind. I was like considering that Life Coach could try and burn Naria down, but Naria is effectively at 20 health now.
Yeah.
Could be lower if he wants to trade.
Now Life Coach cannot even play the freezing trap unless he quick shots the heal bot.
Rogue's burst is not bad again. Not worse than Hunter. Rogue has a very good burst.
Yeah, it's true with the oil. It's allowing him to go for lethal. I think what's also interesting is that now Life Coach can't really even get quick shot value off of the draw effect, because most likely that Mad Science was weed out Freezing Trap, right? So if it weeds out a Freezing Trap, he can't play the second Freezing Trap and then quick shot. Or can he? Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, no, never mind. It is Freezing Trap.
I see.
Okay, well, Lotheb gets drawn here, so Lotheb is really effective against Rogue's cards because this is a time for Nyria to sprint and then really run away with the game. But he still has enough mana to sap here, and it's like you said, Life Coach feels like he has to quick shot this heal bot, otherwise it bounces back and there's absolutely no way for him to win. He saves it though. Oh man, this is bad news. Oh man, especially because Light Coach has a second freezing trap.
Yeah, it just feels so good to freeze a heal bot for the rogue. Gotta be the most satisfying feeling when playing against Hunter.
Yeah, is there only one heal bot too in this list?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
It's your only way of healing yourself, as far as I know.
Yeah, Hunter running with Lightwell versus Rogue running with 2 Hellbots.
It's a control meta, guys. It finally happened. Alright, quick shot. Definitely needs to pick up something good here. Second high main. Now that's something that Nyria has been saving sap for. He didn't even need to use sap for the first one because he could deal with Lotheb relatively harmlessly. So if that's freezing trap, he's got 5, 8, 10, 14. Oh, yeah, 60 because it's SI. That's lethal.
Nyria pretty much got the game.
Right? 5, 8, 10,
no,
12.
no.
Oh, no, he's 2 damage short. Oops. Miscounted.
Oh, wait, what? No.
Yeah, I was trying to count if he could lethal, but I was counting the SI would attack and then get bounced back, and that's not lethal. It was a little bit off.
Maybe he won't use the sap because he don't want to see a taunt.
Yeah, he will trade the Autobot into the Huntmaster. Nyria pretty much just trying to figure out what kind of combination of cards could cost him the game still. As unlikely as it is, because he's got this game locked down no matter what.
Yeah, that's right.
Life Coach can make any sort of comeback here.
I say a huge win. I mean, the fact that Liquid was down 0-4 and they felt like Rogue was their best chance to win, be able to get the win, it's pretty big indeed. Life Coach ends up dropping this game here.
But this is interesting. Is that actually the second Hunter's mark here, or was that?
I believe so. He's playing 2 Hunter's marks.
Yeah, so this is like interesting, and yeah, maybe Life Coach should have conceded before to not review that.
Well,
I don't
he
know
ends up
if
keeping
Life Coach
Yeah.
even running with Unleash. What do you guys think? He looks like a very slow Hunter.
Yeah, so I know that a lot of Hunter lists, the hybrid ones, were opting to cut 1 Unleash and maybe have only 1 Maxim in the deck because a lot of times it's too situational and you just want to have something more solid. But I'd be really surprised if Life Coach ends up cutting the Unleashes because he has those Hunter's marks. It would feel counterproductive.
Yeah, generally I feel like you don't want to cut Unleash when you're running 2 Hunter's mark. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, apparently Show missed lethal against Tice. Oh, wait, I think maybe that's being facetious because of the knife jugglers. I'm not sure.
I think there was some sort of scenario where Show had lethal. I didn't really pay attention to that. But gotcha. Yeah, Colento messaged me as well that apparently Show had lethal.
Well, that's actually a pretty big deal. The fact that Drew is able to escape like that. It just gives Liquid less options there. Maybe Show can have another opportunity to get lethal, though. Hunter versus Hunter's coming up here as we have Show versus Life Coach.
Yeah, this
another big opportunity, too, because Nyria would have gotten benched there. But nice.
Yeah,
They are very carefully playing around
this Hunter mirror matchup right here is actually favoring Show because he's playing the faster version. He's got those Arcane Golems, Wolf Riders, and whatnot, and Life Coach with the double Hunter's mark, which doesn't really do much against Hunter.
Yeah, the fact is the faster hunter can be the more aggressive one, and one is hitting the opponent aggressively, the other one's clearing the board because they don't want to take more than one damage or one round of damage. So it becomes this point where the aggressive hunter has too much of a health lead, and then they just hero power and finish off the game from that point on. But there are a few ways for the mid-range hunter to turn it. The first is being able to get really good anti-aggressive tools, and he has a couple of them in the Haunted Creeper, for example. The second is I really like Houndmaster in this matchup. It's pretty awesome. Be able to like load up on a Haunted Creeper and force your opponent into awkward trades.
Yeah, but then again, if that gets hit by an Ironbeak Owl, and often enough you will see 2 Ironbeak Owls in Face Hunter decks, then yeah, that's just double the owl value right there, removing the buff and the death rattle.
It's not a true Face Hunter list though from Show. He has the Hymeans, right? So it makes me think that he has hybrid like tendencies. So he might have that freezing traps or maybe only 1 owl, that type of dynamic.
Yeah, and not sure about how many trap he's running. He's also running with Snipe.
Also, Misha is so clutch in the mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
Never Misha, always suffer. That's what you always are afraid of here as the mid-range hunter. Okay. Oh, the Snipe. That's right. Life Coach does know it's Snipe.
Yeah, and Show shakes his head. He knows this secret sucks.
Not quite what was planned. Well, this is pretty interesting because anything he gets put out gets contested minion-wise, and then Eagle Hornbow fits the curve the nicest, but you're foregoing some development here.
It depends on which minion he don't like. If it is
which one he likes the least. Yeah. I guess there are minions you don't care about freezing trap, right? Like Abusive Sergeant, you don't mind getting back.
Is this actually going to happen? Juggler into Abusive? I don't think so.
Doesn't feel the strongest because at best you kill one of the spiders and the spider kills the other Abusive, and then you don't get Abusive back.
So your Haunted Creeper seems like the safest plan against those 1/1s. Oh, Huffer hits the board. This definitely puts Life Coach in the lead in the damage race and firmly in control.
And don't be fooled. Even though Mid-Range Hunter is slower than what Show's deck runs, it still can race. It has kill commands. It has weapons. There's a lot of burst that can come out of the deck. It just needs setup. That's the only difference. One can do damage very quickly. The other one is like more explosive in damage, but it just needs a little time.
And Show is like, wait, what? Isn't it supposed to be a mid-range hunter face?
Oh no, the juggle on the hover.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's a disaster. Now Houndmaster comes, and then he kills the knife juggler and pushes 6 damage to the face. That's such a big lead.
And even if Show gets something like a freezing trap out of this Mad Scientist, well,
man,
he's just going to give Life Coach the battle cry from that Houndmaster again, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Houndmaster again is just like directing damage towards the minion, but the bigger story is that Life Coach has had board control.
Oh, look at this, a Huffer.
Board control, excuse me.
Yeah, Show, think on the back of this Huffer might maybe be able to start racing, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, that was a pretty huge moment too. The freezing trap on the Houndmaster keeps it steady. And Life Coach might end up having to kill the Huffer using his kill command to avoid taking too much damage.
I mean, he has a reasonable amount of health still, 26 health. That might be enough to face tank this Huffer here.
Sure. It's rare that you get to see this opportunity this late into the game, turn 5.
And yeah, he doesn't want to run the Houndmaster into the freezing trap, it's just too expensive. makes it too expensive. He wants to use the web spinner for that. But the web spinner gets traded by the weapon. Now Show bringing on the aggression with Arcane Golem. Now Life Coach all of a sudden in a very tough spot. All of a sudden he's behind in terms of health. And now he has to consider whether to just keep racing or using his resources to just deal with the minions, deal with the aggression, because we see Show is running low on cards as well.
We can't really trade. He might. What if you can you even go Dr. Boom and then hope that the boom bots do enough work that you can use kill command next turn for like pushing for lethal? Like, because I mean, this is the tipping point on both sides, where if you can get the firm lead, you might just win, and you have a really explosive hand. No pun intended with the boom bots. So I like that. I like Dr. Boom into maybe race, but then I'm not sure if you're gonna have enough damage because you have 3 from the bow, and you have to rely on those boom bots to do some work here.
Yeah, Show currently, how much damage is this? With the Owl Kill Command Hero power, he has 7, 10, 16. That's exactly lethal.
Oh, there it is.
Wow, okay.
That Iron Beak Owl was a great draw.
Yeah, Show will not miss lethal this time, and...
I was trying to calculate on the other side. I was like seeing if Life Coach can lethal based off of like Show's like best case scenario and worst case scenario, but I was just ignoring it at that point. So that's another big win here as Liquid able to take their second game of the series.
Man, it even looked like Life Coach was in such a demanding position after that snipe kind of screwed Show over, but yeah, it ended up still being a little bit too slow of a hand with the high win and the Dr. Boom in Life Coach's hand, and the freezing just kind of sealed the deal for Show here, just locking down the expensive minions that Life Coach had. And yeah, Show takes this game and puts Liquid in like on the hunt right now, literally.
Well, it's still, you know, we're like at the halfway point of the series if you think about it. It's only 6 games in, so you know, if you guys are getting comfortable and getting a little sleepy, definitely wake up, because this is where the rubber hits the road. Where like if Life Coach can stop the momentum from Team Liquid, because you're giving them hope. They were down 0-4, which is mentally very hard to recover from. But now 4-2, not so bad. You just climb back with another win. You know, go ahead and queue up another deck that you feel like is really strong against them. Life Coach can't be benched, even though in a vacuum he did lose 2 games in a row. But he's still going to queue up another game. Can play Hunter or Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, so Liquid has a very good chance to win with Warlock and Shaman now, and even with Druid.
Well, you like Druid against mid-range Hunter nowadays?
I think it's even better than Patron Warrior versus Hunter, because Life Coach Hunter is too slow. But probably he haven't got Unleash. Maybe he's focusing on Patron Warrior, so he didn't bring Unleash.
Yeah, I'm very curious about it. I think Life Coach may be anticipating the Warlock coming out from Liquid both times, and then trying to use the Hunter to not get cornered there. But I would be surprised if he just like queues up Hunter one more time instead of just switching it up, because Patron seems like a pretty decent pick. But Savitz is capable of playing anything at this point. He gets a matchup that hypothetically should be in his favor, Druid versus the slow Hunter. But will it end up working out in his favor? I'm not sure. Also, Life Coach hasn't really been roping as Hunter.
Yeah.
That's kind of peculiar. It makes the art a lot less fun. Because the whole point is that he ropes every time.
I did rope a couple of times last game. But yeah, I guess the plays might be a little bit more obvious to him. Life Coach is, of course, also a proficient Hunter player. People seem to forget that sometimes, because he's only bringing Patron and Handlock nowadays, and Druid. But most of Life Coach starting fame actually started with that Sunshine Hunter that he created and got a lot of popularity with. So definitely Life Coach also a very good Hunter player. We'll see how he can put that to work in this matchup against Savi's Druid.
All right, well, here we go. Game number 7. Life Coach looking for a pretty good curve. Part of what makes the Hunter really strong against the Druid is the curve with the tempo gain through cards like Freezing Trap. So if you played Mad Scientist on curve, you trade, and then whatever minion they put out is going to be too expensive, and Druid relies on that tempo, especially if they have Innervate, right? You Innervate and then Freezing Trap, you're behind by 4 mana.
I think he wants to save the coin for Shredder.
Yeah, it all depends on if you want to use the bow or not, I guess. So yeah, Savi's got nothing better to do than hero power the 1/1. Up his play right there. And then we'll see a Scientist on turn 2 for Life Coach.
I'll show them all.
King of Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No comment there.
that card was always like,
But
it
where
felt
is the
cool,
beast?
but you have Unleash. There it is. And you also have the River Crocolisk off the Shredder.
So nice 8 mana combo.
King of Beasts, that card is as good as it looks on the artwork.
Wow! Listen, not every card was created beautiful and unique in their own way, Ecop. Even you.
Wow, shots. Wow. Okay.
Get wrecked, son. Get
Yeah.
wrecked, son. No, you don't admit it, man. Don't admit it. Fight back. Well, we got an animal companion here with the Leok. Gotcha. And Leok makes King of Beasts reasonable attack next turn. Not that he would, because Shredder's still on curve, but it becomes a 4/6 taunt for 5.
He can use the force of nature to trigger the trap and kill the Leok now.
You could do that, but you would have to wait for that.
Yeah. The Pilot Shredders here on curve still feels more reliable, but I mean, he can kill the Leok and still get one of those charging Treants back, which would be useful because you know he's playing a second Freezing Trap. This would be the turn to do it, though, right? Because then you're not taking damage from doing this. Say if you play Shredder, he plays another minion, and you really need to trigger the Freezing Trap, then you're going to be taking damage.
Yeah. You still have to trigger the trap next turn. And you have now another 2/2 charge to trigger the next trap, which is not bad.
How sad would you have been if that happened to be Explosive Trap?
Oh, wow. Well, I guess you wouldn't mind too much because then the outcome would still be the same, except for you would have taken 2 damage and not have a trend in your hand. It wouldn't have been that bad.
Well, he attacked the face first with the Treant, didn't he?
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was a scary moment where it's like, whoa, well, the worst could happen. And the funny thing is, I think that's where cards like the Bear Trap actually becomes really funny, because now, for example, if you run Freezing Trap and Bear Trap, you attack with the Treant to the face, and then you just get blocked, and the Treants have to go into the 3/3. It's pretty funny.
Is there even a point to attack the face first? I guess Snake Trap, right? But then
Snake Trap, right?
Even then you have to attack the minion still. So might as well attack the minion instead of the face every time.
Yeah, nowadays, but we'll see as time develops. Life Coach has a lot of choices here.
Do you think he will play around juggles?
Play around juggles? Or play the juggles?
Play the juggler and sacrifice the Shredder and...
Yeah, that's what I was originally looking at, because it gives him the ability to address the board. But I also like Loatheb on curve, because it just challenges pretty easily, and then you can still do the next thing the following turn, right? You just get 1 less juggle. It's better mana efficiency by playing the Loatheb.
Yeah, also the juggler and whatever minion you want to play with it, like the creeper, it's just bunch of small minions along with whatever comes after the Shredder, and that might be easy for the Druid to handle. Because he knows the Druid still has the Trent in his hand and something like maybe Swipe or Keeper.
Huh. Another
If he wants to save the Juggler with Unleash, and if he play Lothap, he can force the Druid to play some minions for Unleash.
That's true. That's also a possibility, considering that he'll have the mana to do that again next turn. Juggler Unleash. He has enough mana to drop the Haunted Creeper as well. But is that as reliable as he'd like it to be? Because he only gets 2 dogs, and the Juggles have to hit minions. And even then, you're still reliant on making sure you juggle onto the Pilot Shredder, so that way you can kill it instead of letting it challenge Lothab directly.
Well, the Juggle Unleash combination doesn't get much better than this in this matchup, I would say.
Unless he plays Dr. Boom next turn, right?
Yeah.
I think one thing that's also challenging is he doesn't want Lothab to take any damage, because then the Shredder will inherently trade easily into it. So that might be factoring into his decision here. Okay. Oh, nope. Juggle to the face. Blows up the board here, and this will be an opportunity for Savitz to potentially climb back onto the board here if he draws Swipe. No. All right. Do you want to play the Keeper here and snipe off the Knife Juggler and then just leave a Beast on the board?
Yeah, you can do that, and also use the Trend, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think of an alternative as well, but I'm not liking the alternative of using like Savage Roar, because I think Savage Roar is a really good tool for you to race your opponent. If you really need to use keep that into your hand, you can always threaten to kill your opponent if you ever grab the board back.
Yeah, it has the second Savage Roar.
Oh, he does go for a Savage Roar.
What I don't like about using Keeper here, though, ultimately, even though I feel like both plays revolve around using it, is that if he ever draws high main or whatnot, it'll be your primary tool to deal with it. Oh, okay. So he just drops the Shade.
Yeah, it seems he values the Keeper fairly highly.
Yeah, the silence effect is really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, Life Coach does have this double Hyman in his deck, obviously, so that's a prime target for the Keeper.
All right, well, Knife Juggler is okay, but Shredder is still really powerful here with the bow. I feel like that seems to be the initial play I look at. King of Beasts still can be a disruption if you need to buy time against combo. You already played Lothab, so maybe King of Beasts is your alternative way to...
There's no combo now.
What if
Black
Coach goes for...
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
what if
he
Black Coach goes for the Juggler and King of Beasts here, and then if he hits the Shade, he might suicide his Creeper to maybe snipe the Shade. But the Shade might be annoying.
It does challenge the board, because at best it'll be a 3-3 and a 2-3.
Looks like
that is an interesting play. I think that's a little too inconsistent, though, because of the Juggler dependency. And I don't think you ever want to be in a position right here when you're this close to potentially closing the game to rely on that. Because on the opposite end, you cash in the Haunted Creeper, and then you open yourself up to Swipe if it doesn't work out well. It feels like you get punished too easily. So Savitz needs to find a way to stabilize onto the board while being able to not take too much damage, because he's at 17 health, and there's going to be a certain point where Life Coach is just going to have like kill commands remaining. Now Savitz knows there's still one beast that's drawn, and he hasn't played that beast in a very long time. I've been worried sometimes it's King Crush, to be honest. It's like, oh my god, he hasn't played it in so long.
I think Savis have to kill all the boards because he haven't got burst now. He has to have the board to win.
Is it time for the King of Beasts to arrive?
Yeah, 4-6, pretty strong.
There it is. It's
like
the same exact thing as Druid of the Claw.
Yeah.
Except it finally came out on turn 8. It's also much weaker to silence. Huh. Alright, well, a board full of beasts. This is going to be tough to get past. Oh. Maybe if he gets Wrath, he can Wrath his own Armani Berserker and trade. I don't really see too many ways to come back, though, here. Oh, swipe! Way too late.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Although there was never really a scenario where swipe would have been that devastating.
Well, because Life Coach kept playing around the swipe, like making sure he'd never be in position. 5, 10, 12. 12 damage right now. Life Coach is on the cusp of being able to finally get a win on the board with the Hunter. But, I mean, there's still some hope for Liquid. But at the same time, this is a soul-crushing game because the difference between 4-3 and 5-2 feels massive.
Yeah, and it is massive indeed. But we've seen teams come back from that position multiple times already.
Yeah.
What to do?
And
Okay.
it was actually this exact matchup as well, as I mentioned before. It was Nihilum versus Team Liquid. Team Liquid was the one team that was 5-2 ahead, and then it all came down to reverse sweeping the patron from Team Liquid. Nihilum managed to do it, and from the looks of it, we will be in this exact same situation. Nihilum will be in Nihilum's last deck will be the patron, and then it's up to Team Liquid to reverse sweep it.
Time waits for no one.
It's unlikely, but certainly possible. You know, there's a lot of plays available to Savitz here too. If he wants to go Druid the Claw and then be defensive, like swipe. If he really wants to go for a dream play, he can use Azure Drake to try and grab Innervate and then use swipe and the Treant to clear everything outside of the 1/1s. That's way too idealistic. Freezing Trap, not exactly the most useful card here. I think Druid's okay just kind of stalling the board. In fact, now that he has Ancient of Lore to heal, that could be pretty useful as well.
Yeah, Savis might actually be in a position to stabilize here now.
Yeah.
Does have the chance to run into the freezing trap after all.
Mm-hmm.
So that freezing trap is worthless as usual, and the Ancient of Lore healing him up to 13.
Yeah, he don't actually need to draw anything now. His hand is already not bad.
His hand's great. He's got double 5-drop next turn. He still has a Treant to help give a little extra push onto the board. So I'm actually liking it.
Where shall I strike?
Drew the Claw. Drew the Claw gives him the opportunity to hero power, so he wants to kill off the King of Beasts so he can deny kill command lethals? No.
Yeah, he just wants to hide behind the wall of taunts, basically.
Yeah, he's afraid of Ironbeak Owls and whatever else. Makes the most sense here. Which, of course, you'll get off the web spinner. Whatever you exactly need off the web spinner, just hope for it enough and it just might happen. I'm still waiting for the King Crush, though. That'd be really awesome. Now, he's seen one swipe, so he knows that it's... No, not the most unlikely scenario he has a second one, but you still have to just be mindful of it. And there's no way to really play around it because there's a bunch of 1-health minions. Oh,
So
that Innervate would
now-
have been so good a few turns ago.
So now the Trent will make short work out of this King of Beasts, I suppose, and then in combination with Ancient of Lore healing himself, that's going to put Savis in a very good board position.
Yeah, and he already used 1 kill command.
Would you just use the innervate to get another point of health so you could avoid like kill command shenanigans with quick shot?
You could do that, but at the same time, it's it's very unlikely that it happens, and also you might need the innervate to do that. You might as well do that later with the innervate. It's not necessary to do it right now.
I think he might innovate to kill the beast, maybe.
He'll have a beast either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Although it might be more expensive, right? He might get, he might get that core hound and it becomes.
Oh wow, Dr. Boom.
Whoa! What a draw.
Whoa!
But I guess you first go into the beast, see what you get. King Crush! I knew it! Guys.
Oh baby.
Guys.
We got a game. We got ourselves a game.
That was awesome. I mean, King Crush is, he's not exactly the most playable legendary, but when you get to play him off Web Spinner, it's pretty insane. And the funny thing is, you can't ever truly play around it as the Druid, or as anybody, really. Because you can't afford to most of the time. He's not in position to. He has to trade into
hit it too.
Yeah.
And Savis has already used 2 taunts.
Okay, so he has to kill by wrathing for 2, right? Onto the Dr. Boom. But
He innovates Losa?
yes, but it won't matter because this is what might happen. The Boombots will kill the Druid of the Claw. The first one will kill the Druid of the Claw. The second one will do damage for exactly 2. And then King Crush will end the game.
Oh.
This is what it's come down to because Life Coach, he's also in a position where he might die.
Well, actually, he might still hold on to this King Crush for another turn. Now that kill command has been drawn and can kind of clear the taunt. Because he's not in danger of dying, he knows like Savage Roars are gone.
Yeah, but then force one more Force of Nature? Or another Swipe? No, Swipe wouldn't actually kill him. He'd be 1 off.
Just a kill command to the Taunter.
2 Boombots. Okay. Fair enough. But I'd still be worried. He actually does die to Swipe. I forgot the spell power. So he dies to a Swipe, that's with Force of Nature. He does. He used both Druid of the Claws. Oh man, that's the most awkward one. No!
Kill command. It's kill command.
Kill command, right? Because then you can hero power.
Kill exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no!
He did not attack with a creeper!
Oh
no!
no!
Special spider.
Life Coach ran out of time!
Wow.
Even if he can stay alive and the King Crush can stay alive, he cannot kill the Druid. I mean...
Oh, I know what he's thinking. He's thinking if he hero powers and kill commands this turn, he won't win next turn anyways. Because his opponent will be at 11 health.
Yeah.
No, but he could have killed the creeper could have gone for face, kill command the 4/3, the Druid of the Claw, and then hero power, and that would have been exactly lethal with the King Crush next turn if there's no healer count.
Right.
So I mean, Life Coach basically had the game. Life Coach basically had the game, and he threw it away.
Oof. Well, he didn't really throw it away. He just ran out of time, so he got stopped by the buzzer.
No, but he even with the play he made, there was no way for him to get lethal anymore because he sacrificed the King Crush basically.
Yeah.
He's upset. He's visibly upset at himself, at the situation. Probably a little bit at at Hearthstone, the rope. But in the end, you can't really blame anyone but yourself. Because that was an opportunity given to him by the Web Spinner in the first place. This is a game where Savis should have come back a while ago, but that King Crush gave him the ability to potentially come back. Hunter's Mark literally does nothing. Absolutely nothing.
we know Life Coach is master of the rope. Like he does all his actions during the rope most of the time, and most of the time it goes well, right? But often enough, you see the rope putting you in an uncomfortable position, just making you, forcing you to do plays that you, with more time disposable, you wouldn't have done otherwise. And we've seen Life Coach fail to the rope multiple times already as well. So this is just one more instance where this actually happened. So of course it feels rough being a Life Coach to be in that scenario, but he has the option of not putting himself into it if he just plays faster.
Yep. You life by the rope, you die by the rope. That's how
exactly.
And it is a very important win, because if Service Warlock is a Zoo, Team Liquid has more chance now.
Dude, I mean, Liquid must feel amazing after that. First of all, the Druid wasn't supposed to win that game based off the way the initial curve was, and then the Druid was again not supposed to win based off the King Crush. And then the score is 4-3 now instead of 4-0, and you got Druid out of the way, which would have been a problem, which is one of the problem classes that you're afraid of.
Yeah, this is
feel
very
like you can
huge.
turn it around here. You just have to win the next one, and then you're tied.
Yeah, and after what happened to Life Coach just now, how do you think his mindset is right now? I mean, you've seen him be visibly upset, and do you think he could just shake it off, or will he be a little bit affected by that?
There was one game at Seat Story Cup. Sorry, ambulance rushing over to Life Coach. There was one game in Seat Story Cup where Life Coach lost to Maverick because of the rope. It was a really great game, one of the highest level matches I've ever seen. It was Handlock versus Control Warrior, I believe. And it was so epic and amazing up until the very, very last turn where Life Coach literally roped and didn't get to play a taunt, like a Sun Fury Protector on his Giants. And then he just died. And he got so mad. It was like the loudest I've ever heard him yell.
Yeah, I actually casted that match if I remember correctly.
I think it was me and RDU, but I think you were like casting right before that too. And it was, I just remember that Life Coach was really, really mad. And then Tice just told him to take a walk, and Life Coach did, and he came back and he was just regular Life Coach. He was like super happy, laughing, making jokes, and be like, oh yeah, it's okay,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's okay. Yeah, what can you do?
Alles gut.
Alles gut. It was fine for him. So I think he's capable of shaking it off if he's given a small break. I haven't seen him be able to immediately shake things off, but there's definitely one thing for sure is that he can become cool and collected, especially if he picks up an easy win here. Warrior versus Warlock could be very good for him if it's Zoo. So I feel like Life Coach is more than capable of rebounding here.
But what if it's Handlock?
Life Coach know that, so he changed to Patron instead of keep on playing the very slow Hunter.
And it is actually Zoo for Savis, not Handlock. So definitely favorable matchup for Life Coach here.
Yeah, so I think Savis was definitely thinking about playing against Hunter.
Yeah, what an interesting scenario where Life Coach can't win with Hunter of all classes. And he's like, you know what? I knew we shouldn't have bring Hunter. This is the reason why we're losing.
To be fair,
he's
though,
single-handedly dragging down the Hunter win rate.
To be fair, though, that Hunter version is a little bit too slow for my taste. I like to run my Hunters a little bit more aggressive, and so do most of the people. Nihilum overall has been the team that brought, on average, the slowest Hunter decks. So, I mean, the slower the Hunter, I feel the worse it performs in an aggressive meta game.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the 2 Hunters mark.
Yeah, well, I can see with at least 100 mark for sure. The second one is certainly very optimistic. I think he might be anticipating Handlock with that Hunter. Dr. Boom is much slower, gives you time to set up and hit harder. You have 2 Hunters marks, and that gives you a lot of firepower against those big, heavy minions. That said, we can look past that because it's not Handlock, it's Zoo. Savitz has a kind of awkward hand here.
Yeah, What do you guys think about calling out 2 minions on turn 1 and have a very awkward turn 2?
I think he wants to get as much damage in before much as possible because he's anticipating his opponent might have Fiery War Axe, and if he has Fiery War Axe, his Flame Imp can do 9 damage. At least, maybe even more if he picks up another way to do it. So he went for the highest damage potential, and he got.
But apparently he haven't even got turn 3 play. Like Demon Zoo is a kind of zoo that always cannot have perfect draws. Too much situational cards.
Well, he's got turn 3 play now, so he's okay.
That's because he tapped. He wasted turn 2.
He would have drawn it next turn.
Exactly.
Oh.
Confirmation bias.
Makes sense.
Let the pain speak to me.
That's right, Eloise.
Yeah, Life Coach's hand not that great, to be fair. There's no weapons, which is the thing you want most against Zoo.
Well, now it's a position where you want to go 3-drop, but you also want to kill this Acolyte in one go and deny him cards. Yeah, I think not letting him draw cards is more important than developing him getting boss.
It is actually alright to just abusive and life tap here. Life Coach is low on cards as it is, so giving him only 1 draw with Acolyte is fine. And also, you keep the demon in hand for the Void Caller. Right now, you don't have an additional demon for the Void Caller, so just in case you don't draw an additional one, it's okay to keep the Imp Gang Boss in hand.
Okay.
Yeah, Life Coach still haven't got weapon.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if he's running only 1 Fiery War Axe nowadays. So that way he can squeeze in other cards to be more effective. Because it feels like the patrons generally haven't gotten much use off of it unless he's playing exactly against Zoo.
What do you think about not enraging the abusive there? I mean, that's often not a play I see against hunters, for example. You just enrage that 1 health minion to not get pressured too much.
It's a valid criticism, because he does take the damage, but I think he's okay with that, especially because he's still at like that health range where he even kind of takes a little bit of damage because of Battle Rage. So I think he's fine taking that little bit for now, and then keeping the inner rage gives him more flexibility. For example, his frothing gets an extra damage point.
Well, now he will use it.
Right.
I mean, now he uses it anyway. He could have done this last turn, considering that it was the turn 4 for the Zoo, and this is the Argus turn if you have 2 minions. So, yeah.
Sure.
Life Coach could have played around at Argus if he wanted to.
This hand, though, is starting to look really good for the Zoo player. There's ways you can get big tempo off the Void Caller, pulling out Doomguard. You've got Dr. Boom and Lotheb, 2 power turns that it can follow up. You've got Defender of Argus, so that way minions that are normally weak to the patron combination can be buffed even more. I mean, I think the last thing he's missing is pretty much just Mal'Ganis to seal the game.
But mostly because Life Coach's hand is too bad. Like 2 Warsong at hand.
Yeah, all of this doesn't matter though. Like Savi's obviously in a demanding lead right now, but on the board, but all of this can change if Life Coach just gets to turn 8 and picks up a Grim Patron. Then the game is just completely turned around.
Is it worth it at all just to slam him for as much damage as possible right now? Like, execute Whirlwind and, like, just punch him? Oh, I guess he's just gonna keep that one, go for the frothing the trade into it. Okay, fair enough. I was anticipating like a 10 damage hit, but that's perfectly fine. Huh. So he can pull out Doomguard, guaranteed, but that makes the rest of the mana pretty awkward. Yeah, I'm trying to evaluate if there's a lot of plays, if there's a play here that allows him to get the best of both while not having to like give up his defender or not having to rely on 50-50 for the demons, but it seems pretty hard to accomplish.
What do you think about power overwhelming Lothap?
So you power the defender and then you trade the Void Caller into the War Song and play Lothap. I guess in this scenario, Savitz gets the most pressure onto the board.
Yeah, he don't want to waste the charge.
Yeah.
What do you think of that live tap? Was that really necessary, considering that you most likely just play Dr. Boom on turn?
I think it's okay, considering that your opponent just used 2 frothings, so your opponent's burst in terms of how much they can get from a single target frothing attack is limited. So I think he feels comfortable enough. He used 1 War Song and 2 frothings.
Yeah, Life Coach just completely dried out his hand. All he has left is War Song Commander and Execute, and yeah, seems to be in a very tight losing situation, but all he needs still is that one Grim Patron. We might just see Whirlwind Execute here to alleviate the pressure.
And that's two Whirlwind and 1 Inner Rage. And we haven't seen Deathbite yet.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we've seen no weapons at all so far, which is basically why Life Coach is in this position in the first place.
He passes. He's going to draw Grim Patron next turn. That's what he wants, so that he can go for Whirlwind and War Song Commander and come back on the board.
Even if he draw Patron, does he need the Whirlwind?
No, because he needs to execute the Dr. Boom.
Yeah, but if he cannot execute Dr. Boom next turn, right? And he take 7 extra damage. Ooh.
Maybe he's hoping for another miracle opportunity, like Gnomish Inventor, Whirlwind, Battle Rage, I don't know, Unstable Ghoul. You know what I mean? Oh wait,
So
is
he's
this potential
going in
lethal?
for a lot of damage. This is potentially.
Oh, he missed lethal by 1.
What?
Whoa! Dang, that was ballsy. No, Life Coach realizes that he was given a gift. It's not every day you see a Boombot hit only for 2 when it comes to lethal.
Yeah, but he really needed the Patron. Is there actually a chance? Well, actually, he can survive here.
Slam into
Slam it.
Armorsmith?
No, slam. I would have said slam the Juggler. Slam the Juggler and then Whirlwind Execute and then armor up and just make Savitz one.
Oh, right. Well, he still can draw an opportunity to do so, right? Battle Rage.
No, he doesn't have the way of dealing with the Juggler. That's not it. And that's gonna be game.
You're right. He can't deal with enough damage. Unless Gnomish Inventor. No, Gnomish Inventor was not able to do anything, even if it picked up 2nd Inner Rage. Well, look at that. Team Liquid tying it up 4-4.
Yeah, definitely a very unfortunate draw for Life Coach there. No Patron and no weapon have been found all game.
No weapon.
So yeah, Savitz got away with that one.
Savitz is already playing very slowly.
Guys, I don't want to call it too early, but I think it's starting to look like Team Liquid has a lot of momentum in their side. If you look at the last 2 classes, I think it's going to come down to this warrior versus warrior of whatever happens here, right? Because the Patron mirror can determine the outcome here. Because I think the Hunter is pretty strong against the Shaman, and the Shaman can be pretty strong against the warrior. So as long as they both keep queuing that up, so what might happen is Life Coach queues up Hunter, Life Coach queues up Shaman.
The Hunter is actually pretty bad against the Shaman, isn't it? Like the Shaman just completely outraces the Hunter.
Oh, you're right, because it's the mid-range slow Hunter, not the super fast one. My bad. You're right. So I think the Shaman might actually be decent here. Huh. Oh, look at that. So then it comes down to if Nyria can close it out. What's really amusing is that Warrior is highly represented in all of our matches here at the Archon Team League. It's brought every single game, every series by every team, and yet it has a subpar win rate for what it's represented at. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that it single-handedly warps the metagame. People always account for it, and they always want to beat it, and they bring in decks specifically so that way they're not weak against it. So don't be fooled, guys. Patron Warrior is really good, even though it's losing.
When you're the world heavyweight champion of Hearthstone decks, of course you're gonna have a target on your back, and all the other decks are gonna be gunning for you. So just taking against that top tier deck, then it's no surprise that it doesn't have such a high win rate and competitive Hearthstone as it should have in on ladder, for example.
Agreed. Now, at the same time, I don't feel like this type of Hunter is that bad against the Warrior if it curves out well, because it still applies pretty decent pressure, and and the Warrior once again draws a little awkwardly, which it can if it doesn't draw any weapons. Then it'll be in a really hard spot to stabilize onto the board, especially when High Main comes down and you don't have executes.
Always no weapon at starting hand.
It doesn't really need it right now, but starting next turn onwards would be pretty convenient.
Yeah, he can play Haunted Creeper and coin out Houndmaster, but maybe he's afraid of weapon. Or he can play the trap to play safely.
I feel like the Creeper might actually be pretty decent here, right? Because you threatening a coined Houndmaster, it actually applies a lot of pressure. Although, okay, now that he goes for the Hunter's Mark, he wants to kill off the Armorsmith immediately with the Creeper, and so therefore he's going to plan to play a Animal Companion next turn.
Wow.
Then he has 2 targets for the Houndmaster.
Yeah, he takes that,
and then he can coin out the hyena, the High Main, I mean, on turn 5. So definitely a very strong setup by Life Coach with the Hunter's Mark, allowing him to curve out very well if all goes as planned.
All right, well, Eaglehorn Bow allows him to do a couple of other plays this turn. Is it still the Animal Companion, or do you think the Eaglehorn Bow dealing with the frothing is good enough here?
At this stage of the game, it doesn't really matter. The frothing doesn't really matter that much. It's just supposed to... the frothing is just being played for board control purposes. And it doesn't matter at this stage of the game how much damage the frothing will deal to you most of the time. So I think
he already used the Hunter's Mark. He haven't got any other way to deal with the frothing.
Well, he can play the bow and attack into it.
Yeah, so depend on if he want to kill it this turn. However.
Yeah, but by killing the Frothing Berserker, you also give out the Haunted Creeper, which means next turn your Houndmaster doesn't do anything. It's just a 4/3.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
This feels like pretty good opportunity for him to trade. On the flip side, if that was anything but Huffer, his opponent would have had Death Spite, and that could have been disastrous as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So there's certainly a risk, but we joke about always being Huffer, but that really needed to be Huffer.
I wonder.
I suppose Death Spite is still pretty decent here.
Oh,
you can attack into the Creeper and deny the Houndmaster value, and also just set it up to attack into any type of 5 health minion that Life Coach's Hunter can put on the board the following turns?
It depends on what he wants to do next turn. Maybe he wants to play Warsong and Crew Taskmaster next turn because he's got 2 Warsongs, so he can equip weapon. But does he want to hit?
No, I think he wants to. He wants to kill off cards.
Life Coach has Houndmaster.
Yeah, it feels like Life Coach has been setting up for Houndmaster very obviously. But that being said, he still can deal with it. He still does the play that you were suggesting. Warsong plus Cruel Task. Kill off the Haunted Creeper and the Houndmaster that way. Let's see if he goes for like
a card.
Yeah, Alkalite plus Cool Taskmaster is also a possibility here.
Like if he play Warsong, and he knows that Hunter's got coin, it will stop Hunter playing coin out Highman next turn.
Yep, and it also makes sense too, given that this challenges the board. Plus, he has Emperor Thorson in his hand, so he can, at least from what he sees, he might be able to clear the board, draw more cards, so that Emperor Thorson reduces things very effectively. But that's the best that he can do for now.
I feel like we might actually see an Eaglehorn Bow here.
Yeah.
So we can use the Spiderlings that are going to die to the Death Bite to clear the Taskmaster, and the Bow to clear the Acolyte. Play Mad Scientist as well to synergize with the Bow. Seems pretty decent.
Yeah, that seems very reasonable. Even though you're usually pretty excited to play the Highmane as soon as you can on an empty board. This doesn't feel like the opportunity to, considering that he has the Death Bite, which might be able to get Execute and help him draw more cards.
And it's not really even an empty board, you still have to deal with the Acolyte and the Taskmaster somehow.
Oh yeah, I mean like after you trade down the board or something, you'd have a very weak board. You have a 4/1 Cool Taskmaster, and then you make him draw 2 cards. This doesn't feel good. See, Battle Rage. Well, is this a hand that you want to Thorson, or do you just want to do something else because you have the option to with the Gnomish Inventor?
Thorson will get free trade.
So
yeah, well, it doesn't really matter too much what you make cheaper with the Thorson in this matchup, as long as you make something cheaper here. Warsong alone, making with Warsong alone cheaper is already good enough.
Maybe he wants to draw more cards for Hyman, for draw Execute.
Yeah, I think this hand. It got a lot better all of a sudden. It felt really weird to like try to reduce 2 Warsong commanders into Fiery War Axe. But now this Thorson possibility is looking pretty good. There's a lot of damage though. Man, yeah, quick shot and kill command. And the 5 damage will be coming this turn. That's 10 damage next turn from the hand, assuming the beast survives. That can be lethal.
I honestly have to question that play by Neria, like not playing the Thorson, because what did you expect to draw really into? What did he try to find? This question that I'm asking
myself. Maybe you want to draw Execute.
Yeah, he maybe wants to draw Execute in anticipation for the Highmane, and that's exactly what happens. But Life Coach plays around that. Yeah, I mean, that's what Life Coach did by evaluating and not hitting face. He's like, I have direct damage. Sometimes I feel like I want to push, but he wisely chose to kill off the Gnomish Inventor. And now there's not an easy activator. There is an activator, but you have to give up stuff, either health or minions. Man, that blows. And then the worst part is that,
what now?
You know, you're working at low life here, and you might die, to kill commands. So there's no way for you to play like Thorson and hope you survive a turn and then go off the following one. Oh man, Oh man. Is that his best chances to win the game by playing Thorson here?
Well, if he goes for that, then he's dead.
Rip. It was a good try, but it just wasn't meant to be. Patron struggling again, and Life Coach's mid-range hunter escapes the shaman. What do you think about that? It's going to be a really powerful advantage for Nihilum. And once again, Team Liquid with an opportunity to get the first lead of the series, but Nihilum able to close out this game and get a very huge win.
Maybe it's because he didn't kill the Haunted Creeper.
Yeah, on turn with the Despite when it enters play. Yeah, I agree with that. That definitely he put Life Coach Neria put Life Coach in a position where he was allowed to just apply a lot of pressure, because Neria had seen that he was going for a little bit too greedy of trades, I suppose, and just doing too much stuff that didn't impact the board, like drawing cards when he could just establish board presence and not killing minions when he has a chance to. So I don't know. It just seemed to be played a little bit too greedy by Neria, and Life Coach capitalized on that by putting a lot of pressure on him and closing out the game with his hunter. So now all Life Coach has to do is win one game with the Patron, 1 out of 2.
Yeah. And Neria has a very bad draw. He has 2 war songs as starting hand, right?
Yeah, I think he had 2 war songs and no weapons except a Despite. But I think you were also right on the money there that Neria needed to kill off so that the Houndmaster got denied, and then just less value, less damage, more time, more opportunities. So yeah, a lot of could've, should've, would've's, but at the end of the day, you have to just evaluate at the big picture here, which is Team Liquid's down 2 games, and Sho and Area need to win and close out the series here. The best chance might be for Sho to queue up the Shaman and then leave it to a Patron Warrior Mirror, or maybe just a Warrior Mirror matchup. All right, it is the Warrior Mirror. So here we go. We've seen a lot of matchups here be decided by early board control or through sheer power of big combination attacks.
Who is this hand? With everything.
The Inner Age, that's Nyria's hand.
Oh.
That's a really awesome, powerful turn 5.
Neria's hand is amazing.
I did Life Coach throw away a Thorson as starting hand.
He did.
On the play, it is often a little bit too slow, so he might just go for a little bit more of an just combo-oriented opening with patrons as well, because this is most of the time what you are looking for, just enabling be the first one to enable your patrons.
It could also flip around just based off of 1 card picked up, and that's the Grim Patron. I mean, Life Coach's hand would be exactly the same as Nyria's as soon as he gets the Patron. In fact, it's better because he's going first, so he gets the mana. Well, this is a very awkward spot. You want to not let your opponent draw as many cards as possible, but at the same time, it's unavoidable.
Yeah. Besides, you have to set up the Despite anyway. So just to be able to go off with the patrons.
Oh man, Life Coach doesn't pick up the Patron, but if he does pick it up on the next couple of draws in time for the turn 5, then he's the one with like a really crazy opportunity as well.
Do you just hope that you draw into the Patron, into the Patron and set up the Despite already? Just go face with the Despite. Believe in the hard cards.
What's your opponent going to do on turn 4? He's going to play No Mission Vendor, right? That's the normal play on turn 4? Yeah, I think going for Despite's okay. Because then you threaten to draw 2 cards off of the Acolyte. and you force a reaction off of your opponent.
Yeah.
To use the weapon?
Yeah, to use a weapon or to do something about the acolyte that's not optimal. Like, I don't think you really execute the acolyte maybe, but if he feels the need to.
Yeah, Life Coach is going for it.
Oh man. Next turn though, that next turn. Patron City. Second inner rage being drawn. That gives 6 patrons on the board.
But I think Naria is afraid of if Life Coach play Patron next turn, what will he do?
Yeah, but there's nothing he can do. Naria just has to hope that Life Coach doesn't have the patrons.
Yeah, he passes.
Mm.
And oh. Wait, there's still another chance though, right? If he inner rages.
Yeah, but then he has less enablers, so not really worth it.
What now?
If he
Probably just
inner
gonna
I
see
think
shield block here.
if he get the Patron, I think he might wait for next turn to play it then. Maybe.
So shield block then?
Yeah, we're gonna see the shield block armor up, most likely.
What sucks about shield block is it does put you farther away from being able to use battle rage effectively.
I'm sure that with all those whirlwind effects that Life Coach has, his battle rage will be fine.
Okay. Well, I don't foresee him using any other way to, or anything else here. I think he keeps the Death Bite. I think he holds on to those inner rage. Just armor up pass. Ari, on the other hand, he's going to set up. Do you think he just goes all for it, like 6 patrons, or do you just go for like halfway so you can keep your options open?
I'm sure you just want to have as many patrons at 2 health as possible. Or 3 at 2 health, yeah. You don't want too many with 1 health, that's not good. So he's definitely gonna inner rage the same patron twice, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly what he's doing. And then just have 4 patrons total, none of which are vulnerable to any to the Death Bite effect.
Smart,
Definitely
I
well
like
played by Neria there. And this is a very tough board to deal with for Life Coach. Life Coach does have Slam though. Like there's Slam and Execute, and of course the Death Bite. But of course that's unfortunately not usable because it will spawn another patron. So we might just see a Thorison and hoping that Neria doesn't have any additional whirlwind effects.
Yeah, that seems to be the best. If you can't really deal with all the patrons, you just try and fight back eventually through it. He also reduced the cost of his hand very effectively. Like a lot of these spells are 2 and 1 mana, so it helps him be able to go for a big swing. Thinking about that, he has War Song and he picks up Frothing. He might be able to have an opportunity to OTK his opponent if he picks up really appropriate cards for next turn. I like it.
Yeah, Thorison has to hit the board here. There's no question about that.
And your opponent still doesn't show that he has War Song Commander yet, so these patrons, even if they multiply, can't kill you immediately. Oh, okay. I thought he might have gone for big game hunter or something, but
He don't want to get off the board.
yeah.
Yeah, and like he's also playing the Armorsmith in anticipation of a potential frauding OTK, so that Armorsmith kind of protects him from that.
Armorsmith on behind the taunt.
So yeah, now Life Coach definitely in an even tougher spot to deal with all of this. I want to touch on the fact that we haven't talked about Neria's Big Game Hunter actually, which is also a nod to them Team Liquid expecting Nihilum to play handlock again.
Right.
But there is a problem. If this turn Neria draw Life Coach draw a patron, and patron will get benefit from the 1/3, and maybe Life Coach can come back.
Oh my god! Wait, I don't even know how much
is
damage
this?
this is.
That's a lot. It's 2 whirlwinds, so that's +6 on that frothing twice over, so it's 4, 10, 16, plus another whirlwind. 22? Plus a fiery war. Oh no, he can't attack. Oh no, he can't whirlwind twice because it kills everything. Wait, what he can do is attack and then whirlwind again.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
It's just barely short, right? Oh my gosh.
Oh my god,
Frothing
that's gotta
did
be heartbreaking.
26 damage.
Wow.
I thought it was 24 or 25, but that was so close in the shield block draw. Oh, life coach is devastated.
Look at
So
the
many
frustration in
dreams.
the life coach's face.
Yeah. And I mean, Naria's he's breathing a sigh of relief because he was like, "Oh my god, I almost died from that." Like, it's literally like a tiger jumping straight at your face, and you know, you were on the verge of death there,
Life coach is not
stopping
out of
inches
it yet.
away from your face. Huh?
Life coach is not out of it yet. Lyria doesn't
Hey, he's
have
not
it.
out, but it's looking pretty grim.
Shell Slam.
Yeah, Shield Slam could have been really useful if he was able to get 1 more armor. Just 1 more armor. Man, the story of the game just, of course, being a little bit off every single time. Oh, Battle Rage allows him to draw more cards. Also, I think maybe Life Coach messed up his ordering. He shouldn't have armored up before he attacked, right? Because then he would be able to deal with the 3/2 patron.
What now?
And you. Oh no, he doesn't have enough mana to shield slam.
Yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
Matter. Okay. Well, what's also been really funny is Naria's been pressuring this game without using a single War Song commander. It's just through the presence of patrons and patrons alone. Okay. Well, he's gonna go for it. 1 more chance for Life Coach here to stabilize. Second Battle Rage doesn't do it.
Drawing to brawl.
There's Slam and Execute to deal with the frothing. There's Shield Slam to deal with the 1 patron. With the other one, he can deal with by using Fiery War Axe.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a stabilization point. How much mana does that cost total? Can you squeeze in Gnomish Inventor? I don't think so. It costs 10 mana total, it looks like. Shield block fills out the mana curve, I think, right? You can shield block now and then shield slam and execute.
Yeah, looking good.
Reasonable. Reasonable indeed. These lists usually run 1 shield slam, right? In cup, or are they running 2 now?
Yeah, usually just 1, if anything. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't really need to keep the armor as high as a priority is for Control Warrior, for example. Well, now Nyria able to take initiative on the board, but keep in mind both these guys aren't exactly the most health possible. So in a very weird way, it's like the more minions you put up on the board, what happens if he just draws a second War Song commander with Frothing? Or if Nyria hits 1 War Song? It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. So in a way, Gnomish Inventor is great for cycling, but it's not great at the same time because it might be the reason you die.
And now
I
the
don't know,
board
man.
without War Song or Patron is already very threatened.
I suppose in a situation like this, you just have to pray that your opponent just doesn't draw into that second four-song frauding burst.
Would he not want to
Just
battle
go
rage
for the minion
first?
spam.
Oh. That might do it. I think. He can't really play the Armor Smith. It's too much of a liability, right?
What now?
Armor Smiths just create more Grim Patrons. And then...
Is there anything
might
that
have a
could
frauding.
draw with Battle Rage? What can he still get?
Okay, so he's missing his second War Song. I think he might have a second Unstable Ghoul as well.
I don't think he want to play it on 1-3.
I mean, I'll admit these turns would be too hard for me to do. I'd probably just crumble and cry.
Yeah.
And roll into the fetal position and shake viciously. And just make it stop. You know? I concede.
A life coach in full defense mode, playing both armor smiths, hopefully getting hoping that his opponent trades into them and gets a lot of armor, so he can generate time to draw into the war song with whirlwind effects.
Yeah, life coach plays 2 armor smiths in defense mode. Of course, Nihilum needs to draw into some way to end the game. I don't know if this ends the game directly, though, does it? He's got... oh, wait, he can... Can you draw a second battle... not a battle rage. Can you draw an inner rage off of that battle rage and get more damage? I think that's what might be his plan. 7... 11. No, I guess not.
Oh,
he's not afraid of
a
spam
little bit of
now.
mis-sequencing right there by Neria. Could have
Yeah,
definitely had
less
a
armor,
little bit
right?
less armor.
Yeah.
Like 4 armor less.
Woo! Drew a lot of card there just now.
But now Neria, he's praying that.
Oh, he says, please, please, no war song.
War song. But even then, he still needs the whirlwind effect.
Yeah, the unstable ghoul. He literally needs to hit 2 of the 6 cards remaining, which is very difficult.
Actually, he don't need to draw the card last turn. He can just armor.
This turn?
Oh, there is the war song.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe he can part in a rage so he can gain 4 health off the big game hunter. 2, 4, 10.
Yeah,
10 damage.
but with so many cards drawn by the battle rage from Neria, and life coach sees the writing on the wall. It's like no.
Well, he's not actually dead though. That's, or is he? Oh yeah, he is. The whirlwind. Oh man. He needs to kill off the war song commander.
Yeah, with the fire war X.
Yeah. So he's alive, right? But barely.
Yeah, barely.
11 damage. He's at 15. 4 damage is needed to end this game. Oh wait, was Naria on like a death bite draw to end the game?
Yeah.
He still is, right? No mission vendor can pick it up. No.
Oh boy.
Whoa, wait. So 1 draw. It's for Nihilum to go into phase 2. It doesn't even guarantee
He needs to play the armor smith.
It doesn't even guarantee them a spot. Oh wait, the armor smith might be too much.
Yeah, armor.
Yeah. And he just going it safe, using his own whirlwind to get armor. So that's got to lock up this game for Neria, right?
Yeah, there's no
nothing
way.
left he can draw.
Well, even if he got the unstable ghoul, it was highly unlikely. He would kill off the armor smith. He'd be at 20, and then get 7 from the whirlwind. So that's only about 13 damage or so. He'd be short by 7 or 8, I think.
Oh wow! And we're going to a game 11, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a fitting end. It's a fitting end to this crucial series. Like, they're fighting for their tournament lives right now in this redemption.
Yeah, essentially, it's come down to whether or not they can take this win and be able to advance to Phase 2. Phase 2, again, will be next week, guys. I believe on the 25th to the 27th, where we'll have Archon, we'll have Tempo Storm, and the winner of this series will also join them. And it'll be a really fun time playing double elimination series, I believe, to advance to the grand finals. Cloud9 and Valuetown are already there. Foursome Boys, Tempo Storm, Archon are waiting the winner of this series to join them. So make sure to check that out. In the meantime, it's game 11. Winner takes all. It doesn't matter how many games you win. The point differential is irrelevant. But Liquid started down 0-4, and since then, Life Coach has gone 1-5. So if he loses this, he will have lost every single game for his team.
Life Coach's play last game was very good. The forcing play.
Yeah, we've seen some questionable plays by Life Coach. We've also seen some really good plays by Life Coach. I mean, when he's usually when he plays on point. He plays perfectly. But sometimes you just have those scenarios with Life Coach, especially like when the rope gets involved sometimes, and you just don't get all the actions in or not all the optimal plays. I mean, it happens. It happens to everyone.
Well, will it happen one more time? We'll find out. This is a matchup where it could go all right or all wrong for Life Coach. And as long as you get past that finish line, it doesn't matter how you got there, as long as you did. Show, in the meantime, is going to try and just rush Life Coach down as soon as possible. We've seen it before. If you can pressure the Warrior out of the game, you'll be in a good spot. It happened in game number 1 with RDU and Nyria. And now it happens in game number 11 with Show versus Life Coach, except it's the other way around. This time, Nihilum's on the Warrior, and Liquid's on the Shaman.
Right off the bat, we see Show's hand. Like, it all comes down, often it all comes down to the opening hand that Shaman has, and this hand particularly doesn't strike me as that amazing.
No.
You haven't got any mech to follow up.
Yeah. There's the beefy Fireguard Destroyers, which can be hard to deal with for the Patron Warrior. Usually the only out is Execute. But, oh man, this is a little bit too slow.
Well, he still has another draw opportunity to fill out the curve here. No, that's so annoying. That is so annoying.
Yeah. You don't want to use that when you're going into your turn 4 with the Fireguard Destroyers.
Yeah, he definitely wants to play the 4-drop next turn.
I mean, you can save it. You can save the Lightning Bolt because it's damage to the face. If Lightning Bolt Crackle hit for maximum damage is 9, you have 16 from the Doom Hammer. That's 25 damage already.
Do you think we will see Shield Slam here? Shield Slam and attack into the Mech Warper? Like, obviously attack into it first, see what you can get. Oh, there's Execute.
Shield Slam might be better.
So there's
it's very
one
hard
answer
to get armor in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just gonna Shield Slam that down. It's threatening stuff like Fell Reverse maybe even.
Yeah, that's true.
If that's something you play.
Well, if you see the Fireguard Destroyer, you probably won't expect the Fell Reaver, but the Execute is certainly very useful against the Fireguard Destroyer. Second Doom Hammer, so he's got a lot of damage. He's got a lot of damage, guys.
That is a lot of damage, but obviously you don't want to have those in your hand at the same time.
Right, you can't wield Doom Hammers unless Life Coach happens to be playing Harrison, in which case the second Doom Hammer is somewhat nifty, but you do lose a lot of mana. And Life Coach is drawing cards. That's the scariest part about all of this. It's that he's handling the aggression and drawing cards. And he's also doing it without weapons, too.
I thought he will use the Slam. Because there's nothing to fit the mana curve, but he drew the Acolyte now. Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me.
Is he reconsidering dropping the Acolyte? What would he do instead?
Maybe he was thinking
Armor up.
about playing the Warsaw.
Really? Because then he can play Grim Patron the following turn, right? But that'd be too optimistic, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that's too optimistic. But then again,
Yeah.
against the Mech Shaman, how good is Warsong even?
Well, Crip's not here to answer that question. How good is Mech Shaman? But I'll try to fill in his place. I think, without that, Mech Shaman still is able to do burst. Like, just look at the Doomhammer, and you know that he's running Rock Biters. The challenge is, though, can he get 8 turns of attacking the face in before, the patron starts comboing him? Because if you think about it, it's like 8 turns from now, Warrior will have turn 13 on his side. That's just like really long and far into his deck. Most likely he might even be decked out by then, so I don't think these weapons will actually all see play here.
So Slam. Will we see a second
Yeah.
Slam? That is the question. There can be some stuff picked up off of that second Slam, like an Enrage or Whirlwind to deal with the Fire God Destroyer immediately.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Doesn't look like he's going for that.
No, yeah, it seems like he's opting something else, the War Song. Trying to take some heat off of himself.
yeah, and it's only turn 5. He has only 5 mana. He cannot play Fire Elemental.
Right, but he still has that Lightning Bolt. I was going to Power Mace this down so he can set up for a good Pilot Shredder. Also, they're very reasonable. Oh, doesn't want to miss 5 damage to the face, though. I say face. You have a hand that says face.
Of course, you gotta go face. There's so many cards in Life Coach's hand anyway that
Yeah.
what good will those couple of cards more do?
He won't have the mana to play them anyway.
Exactly.
Did you ever, I don't know if you guys ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, but there was a strategy called Destiny Board where you would play, like, each card would have a letter and you had to spell out the word final, F-I-N-A-L, and if you did, you win the game.
Oh yeah, I've seen it in the anime.
That's what this hand is exactly spelling, except it's F-A-C-E with show. That's what you have to Each card spells a letter of face, and you just have to go for it.
Get out of here, Froden, with your Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk.
That's all I want, man. More Yu-Gi-Oh! X Hearthstone references. Man, Nairia looks so stressed, and I don't blame him. This is like for all the marble. Oh, sorry, Show looks really stressed. This is for all
Who
the
is
marble.
Nairia?
Sorry. Oops.
See, even the Power Mace going upstairs.
Yeah. Going upstairs. This is not a slam dunk. Not yet. Doomhammer, though. That's the kind of slam dunk I'm waiting for with the Rock Biters. Oh, man. This Crackle, if it rolls high, is going to be so stressful for Life Coach. No, it rolled a 4. That's terrible.
Here it is in one armor
Armor Smith? Or armor card? Or what?
shield.
Shield Slam?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The one Shield Slam has been used, so it'd be hard for him to capitalize on that. But he still has a way to buff this Acolyte and draw. And with Patron, it doesn't matter if they have 2 health. They can still rebound and win the game. So, don't get too comfortable, Show. This can easily swing the opposite direction. Oh, man.
Ooh.
Zap-O-Matic. That dictates a response immediately. So he has to attack that, right? Unless he's
Yes.
willing to attack the face and then Whirlwind and then play the Frothing so he can avoid taking damage.
He has to attack it. Question is Life Coach afraid of lethal here? Shield slams, but shield blocks, but
Yeah,
he's
he's
going
gonna
for
Whirlwind
that.
here.
Okay,
He's,
so
he's
he's
super afraid of lethal, and rightfully
This is-
so.
I mean, he could have attacked the Whirling Zap-O-Matic if he wasn't that afraid, but But yeah, because the whirlwinds are going to be useful once he draws Armor Smith.
Yeah.
And he only get 1 extra health from this.
Oh man.
He could play armor up.
The choice. Do you kill the Frowling because it's such a big threat? Or do you just go for face because that's your best chance damage-wise? He blinks. Okay, he goes for the Frowling kill, which rightfully so. Like look at Life Coach's hand. It's so big. There's many ways that this can go terribly wrong if you leave that alive.
There's Armor Smith.
If he cannot draw extra damage, he won't have lethal anyway next turn.
Speaking of too many weapons,
if Life Coach kept that Whirlwind in his hand, because like Eloise said, just attacking the Whirling Zap-O-Matic and using hero power would have been just 1 damage that he takes more. So yeah, but the Whirlwind plus Armor Smith generates so much health. Double shield block. Wow.
There's 2 shield blocks in this deck.
Oh man.
That is so huge.
Yeah, that's
like
why
Show is running out of time.
Run Shield Slam.
Okay, Show needs to get just back-to-back Rock Fighters, right? That's kind of what needs to happen here. Lothev's not bad. Lothev's not bad at all. Especially if he gets Taunt Totem with this. Can you imagine? Would you be afraid to Totem? I'd be afraid to Totem. No, he got
It's only 1 out of 4 chance.
That's exactly the one I'd be afraid of. Oh, sweet Jesus. Let's see here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough mana to do like a Warsong Armor Smith and Grim Patron play and remove everything.
And he cannot play Execute.
No, Execute's too expensive. I mean, he can play Execute, it just costs the rest of his turn.
So Colento just informed me that Life Coach missed lethal too.
Thank you. In fact, I don't think we had enough opinion to chime in on that, so... I say why stop there? We should do a post-game analysis and go ahead and recap that. Painful exchange. Rockbiter is still lethal here. No, it's not the Rockbiter, but Show does have a minion to play. Now, there's also a lot of choices with this turn, because, again, you can push for damage, but there's a lot of threats representing. Not just in the Warsong, but the Armor Smith also puts you out of reach.
Yeah, he have to at least get rid of the Armor Smith.
Oh, man. I like killing off the Frog, though, because of, if you draw the Rockbiter. Because he puts him at 8 health, so if he gains 2 more health through armor up, that's the opportunity there.
Oh,
the Taunt Totem roll was huge, though. Whoa, that's nice.
But the second Armor Smith, man.
Yeah, that's even bigger. That's so much health. So, how about an Armor Smith and then destroy a Death Spite play?
Oh.
And then execute? So, like, you can Death Bite, attack,
He can
Whirlwind.
Oh, there's Whirlwind.
Inner Rage and attack.
Okay.
He's going for Patron Inner Rage Whirlwind. That's gonna generate a lot of armor there.
Yeah, that's
probably putting him out of range of
too
anything.
much. That's too much. The Whirlwind was the final nail in the coffin here, I think. It's still not over yet, but I don't even know. Show is just devastated. He's so mad. Like, how do you even deal with this anymore? Unless like a Doomsayer popped out of that Pilot Shredder. It's like that stage.
Doomsayer won't help.
Well, not now. I think
Wow.
if Doomsayer was able to clear the board type thing.
Show with a Noitron draw.
Oh, Noitron. Is that like the worst draw possible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shao has already used a lot of direct damage.
Is there anything off the Shredder that can help him?
Not really.
Maybe kill Armor Smiths. It could be the point where you get to kill the Armor Smiths and then just pray. But I don't think there's anything that can really help him here. It might come down to the point where he really has to hope that his opponent has like one more Whirlwind effect and then like Doomsayer pops out. I don't know. Show one more chance, one more try. Vitality Totem is so troll. That is so troll right now.
Does actually have them survive?
Yeah, at least it looks like Doomsayer.
But survival is not the key here in this matchup. If you look at the armor that Life Coach has accumulated, there's no way in hell that Show can still win this game. No chance at all.
24 health. Life Coach is pretty much almost back up to full. And, well, I mean, Show stays barely alive. Life Coach is almost out of cards. But the cards that he has are pretty dang good, to say the least.
I wonder.
Yeah, with all the resources that Life Coach still has in his hand, it's just gonna be enough. Show cannot deal with all of this and or get lethal.
He has everything.
Well, literally almost everything because he's almost decked out at this point. So, pretty much smooth sailing. I'm trying to think of like a combination of cards that Show has to run. But even if he got like Lightning Storm and Max, do you think he could do it? No.
No, there's absolutely no way.
There's no way. That Whirling Matic came way too late. Would have loved it much earlier instead of the burn. That's going to wrap it up. Team Liquid brought it to the 11th hour and 59th minute, but was not able to have the ignite. It was so close.
Did you see that sigh of relief on Life Coach? And rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
after almost losing the entire series for Nihilum by himself,
There were
that's gotta feel
storylines.
great.
There were
Did
two.
anyone says that Show missed lethal twice?
Oh man, if Show missed lethal again this game, but I don't think it did.
No, I mean, Show missed lethal in that one game versus
Right.
Handlock apparently. But
and it came down to 5-5, and if he hit that lethal, you don't know how the outcome would have been because
Exactly.
the match would have been different. But if you just look at it in terms of raw score, the series would have been over. For me personally, that'd be too much to swallow because you know it's not just a personal performance; it's a team performance here, and Team Liquid gave their all. But it looks like it's the end of the road here.
Yeah.
What's the last card?
Frothing Berserker.
Jeez.
There was one turn that Show can play the 1-2 instead of burst direct damage, instead of lightning bolt. Will it help?
Maybe. It's too hard to map it out because I mean we've seen every card drawn in that specific order, so we have to go back and check. But I would say that I think the patron was favored based off that opening hand, no matter what. 27 health. There's no way Life Coach can throw us away, barring catastrophe.
Yeah, not sure what took Life Coach so long to finish this game, but yeah.
He's just being extremely meticulous. Maybe even kind of like thinking about ways he can lose, but there's really no way. All right, well.
So yeah, that's gotta be your winner. Nihilum take this game.
They stay alive for one more week.
They're going to be playing on the 25th and the 27th in the double elimination series for Phase 2. We call that the playoffs, where 4 teams get narrowed down to 2 more and join Cloud9 and Valuetown in the grand finals happening on September 11th to 13th in Texas. That's where the Archon team house is. Congratulations to Nihilum. They stay alive. And a well played to Team Liquid. You know, when you're down 0-4, a lot of times it's easy to lose steam and get down on yourself. But it seems like they put up a really good fight. And I'm really glad that it went to Game 11. That was really fun.
Yeah, so next week will be the so-called satellite double elimination bracket with the 4 teams that are not qualified yet. And Archon actually, as 3rd place, has the advantage of determining the bracket. So they have the winner's advantage right there. And
next week when we play the playoff, when we play the games, we will use the TGT cards.
Exactly.
New expansion will release, and it will be like the second day of the new expansion release. We have to submit the deck.
It'll be really fun, guys. Grand Tournament release is August 24th, and we play on the 25th. So that's when you guys want to tune in for sure. It'll be maximum hype. We'll see who can immediately think of great decks, and you can bet that it'll be a lot of differing opinions. You might see some people post a deck list, but you might also see people bring out something completely new, and that's where the excitement comes from. You also might see people bring the same exact deck list to try to punish people who are getting a little too bold and crazy as well. So I anticipate a lot of excitement. And again, Archon will be picking the brackets. The Team Archon will be, because they finished in 3rd place for the regular season. That wraps it up. Thank you so much, Eloise and Ecop, for joining us. Do you have any last words, Ecop? What do you think of the match?
I mean, I'm always happy to cast, especially alongside you, Frodan. Always a pleasure. And yeah, it's been an exciting series, exciting to watch, exciting to cast. And also, shout out to everyone who was watching.
All right,
thank you, everyone. My English is not good, but it was very fun to cast with you guys. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for staying up. It's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in China, so we appreciate that in Asia. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. We also want to thank our sponsors for Alpha Draft. Go ahead and check out alphadraft.com for an opportunity to win a lot of cash playing Fantasy Hearthstone. There's hundreds of thousands of dollars paid in cash every week through Alpha Draft, not just through Hearthstone and Fantasy, but through a lot of other things as well. If you follow a bunch of games in esports, you can sign up today for a 250 matching deposit bonus. So check it out at their website. Also want to give a big shout out to Amazon App Store for their promotion. You can check out amazon.com/Hearthstone for the discount that you can get for packs. You only have a little bit of time left to pre-purchase the packs before TGT releases, so make sure to check it out. And why not do it through the Amazon App Store? Save some money and support the sponsors that make this league possible. We're done, so thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week for the playoffs. Don't miss it, August 25th here on Amaz HS. We'll see you guys then.